Chapter 46 The Fourth Lord Talent. World City. The surrounding atmosphere seemed to have quietened down. These subjects of World City did not seem to expect their lord to die so easily in front of them. They were immediately delighted. Good riddance to bad rubbish. This nightmare is finally over. I finally don't have to endure his bullying in the future. Great. A few World City subjects looked at Zheng Huaiba's corpse with expressions of satisfaction. However, there were also a portion of World City subjects who looked at Zhou nervously. Boxinoviel. They were the people who had just put in a good word for Zheng Huaiba. They were afraid that this ferocious lord would turn around and deal with them now that Zheng Huaiba was dead. Then they saw Zhou look at them. Let's just let bygones be bygones. Join Blazing Sun City and become my subject. I can let bygones be bygones, he said calmly. He understood that these people were probably bullied and coerced, so they said those heartless words. They were all pitiful people. Zhou naturally would not punish them. We are willing to join Blazing Sun City and become your most loyal subjects. They knelt down and said in fear. The old man also pulled his grandson to his knees. A line of text appeared in front of Zhou. 18 refugees request to join your territory and become your subjects. Do you agree? After Zhou agreed, he let them get up first before checking their personal information. 12 of the 18 subjects were ordinary people. Among the remaining 6 people, there was a Black Iron Tier elementary grade doctor, 3 Black Iron Tier elementary grade blacksmiths, a Black Iron Tier intermediate grade chef, and a Black Iron Tier advanced grade architect. Zhou was very satisfied after reading them. They were all talents that his territory needed. Now that he had more subjects under his command, his need for lifestyle professionals increased. These 6 lifestyle professionals could slightly resolve his urgent needs. Even though there were not many people, but it was better than nothing. And he realized something else. That was, these people were especially loyal to him. Most of them were above 70 points. Especially the old man and the child. Their loyalty to him was 95 points and 98 points. Zhou roughly understood why their loyalty was so high. Therefore, he did not say much. After that, he dripped a drop of golden corpse water on Lord Mighty's corpse and asked Bai Yi and the others to bring it back to the territory later. He was still recording, therefore. He could not extract the loot from Lord Mighty's body for the time being. Then Zhou led everyone into World City. Bai Yi and the others quickly found the resource storage point of World City being led by these subjects. They obtained a total of 500 units of wood, 400 units of stone, 200 units of metal, and 350 units of fine sand. There were also 22 Black Iron Tier mist cores. There were also more than 20 units of Black Iron Tier elementary grade black-tailed fog scorpion meat. The loots were pitifully small. It was far inferior to the gains he had obtained in the territory of the Scarlet Lord. Zhou had expected this. How could a human lord's territory that had only developed for 5 days compare to the Scarlet Lord that had developed for an unknown period of time? My lord, I know that the person who just died built a residence as his harem. The 3 girls they tortured to death should be inside. A wretched-looking young man walked over and said respectfully. Zhou took a look. He realized that he was the only Black Iron Tier advanced grade architect here. The other party seemed to have seen through the meaning in Zhou's eyes, and immediately knelt on the ground in fear. My lord, please spare me. Even though I'm the architect who built the residences, but I really didn't know they would use it in this way. If I knew they would use it this way, I wouldn't have built it for him even if I died. Zhou shook his head. I told you. The past is in the past. And the other subjects didn't accuse you of anything bad. I'm sure you had to build it for them because you had no choice. My lord is wise. The Black Iron Tier advanced grade architect was stunned for a moment before he was so touched that he cried. Zhou was speechless. Then, he asked him to bring him to the so-called harem. After arriving, Zhou realized that this place was actually locked. Fortunately, the subject had a key. After opening the door, the stench of rotting corpses assaulted Zhou's face, almost suffocating him. He suppressed the stench of corpses and looked inside. In the end, he saw the corpses of 3 women who were already filled with maggots. This tragic scene stunned Zhou on the spot. He only came back to his senses after some time. He got Bai Yi to come over to arrange for someone to clean up the 3 corpses and bury them properly. He would tell the grandfather and grandson after the burial. Bai Yi received the order and left. After that, Zhou brought 5 sword-shield soldiers to the Lord's wooden house. After carefully searching this place and discovering that there was no loot, he placed his gaze on the black iron tier intermediate grade territory stone tablet. He got the 5 sword-shield soldiers to start slashing at this territory stone tablet. A moment later, the territory tablet was shattered. A black iron tier intermediate grade territory token appeared in front of him. Zhou placed his hand on it. A text notification appeared. Receive the territory token. Yes, Zhou said. The next second, click. The black iron tier advanced grade territory token immediately fell into his hands. It's the 3rd black iron tier territory token. I can upgrade my territory when I get back. He looked at the territory token and smiled. Zhou had a faint premonition. His territory would probably change greatly from black iron tier advanced grade to green bronze tier elementary grade. After confirming that there was no other loot to take away from this territory, Zhou led everyone back to Blazing Sun City. Not long after they set off, Zhou saw the little boy jogging to his side, ignoring his grandfather's objection. He looked up at Zhou, his eyes flickering with an unprecedented light. Big brother, are you a hero? My grandfather said that heroes are existences that stand up to save people when they are in the most danger, afraid, and in need of help. Big brother, you must be a hero, right? He asked expectantly. Ever since his sister disappeared, his grandfather and him had been living in darkness. At this moment in their hearts, the new lord who had saved his grandfather and him was the hero in his grandfather's stories. Zhou shook his head and laughed. I'm not. I don't believe you. The boy shook his head. I'm just an ordinary person who wants to work hard to live and protect those subjects who entrusted their future to me, Zhou said. The boy blinked. Half an hour later, Blazing Sun City. Zhou asked the kitchen to prepare food and let these new subjects fill their stomachs after returning. He could tell that these people had been hungry for a long time. Then, he returned to the Lord's wooden house and first extracted the loot from Zheng Huaiba's corpse. The loots were not of much value, except for the most important 6 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Zhou took out the 6 new black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, and the 8 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments he had obtained from the black-tailed fog scorpion leader previously. He put them all together. A hazy black iron light appeared. At the same time, a line of golden words also appeared. 10 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments are discovered. Do you want to fuse them into a black iron tier Lord Talent origin divine crystal? Yes. Zhou was filled with anticipation. The next second, a black iron light flashed. A thumb-sized hexagonal black iron crystal appeared in front of him. It was surrounded by a black iron light belt that was like a ring of stars. It looked quite magical. Beside him were the remaining 4 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Zhou picked up the hexagonal black iron crystal. A text notification appeared. Treasure name: Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Treasure grade: Black Iron Tier. Treasure effect 1. After absorbing it, the Lord will randomly awaken a Black Iron Tier Lord Talent. Treasure effect 2. Talent advancement. Since this Lord's Talent Origin Divine Crystal is Black Iron Tier grade, it can't advance the other Lord Talents. Treasure description: a law treasure condensed from the Supreme Will. You will obtain a random Black Iron Tier Lord Talent after using it. Do you want to absorb it? Yes, Zhou immediately said. The next second, this Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal immediately turned into countless black iron light spots and quickly entered into his glabella. He subconsciously closed his eyes. A moment later, Zhou opened his eyes. The Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal in his hand had completely disappeared. Zhou's face lit up. This was because he vaguely felt that he had grasped an extraordinary ability. He immediately opened the Lord's personal information. His Lord Talent column had already been updated again. Lord Talent: 100% drop rate, Legendary Tier. Gnome Alchemy Workshop, Monster Ranch White Silver Tier. Insight Defection, Black Iron Tier. Insight defection? Zhou studied this Lord Talent. Chapter 47 Lord Talent. Insight defection. Prepare to upgrade the territory. Zhou opened the details of this Lord Talent curiously. Lord Talent. Insight defection Black Iron Tier. Insight defection. A Lord's exclusive talent. When you fight the enemy Lord head-on, you can activate the Insight defection talent to turn 2% of the enemy Lord's forces into your loyal subordinates. Lord Talent Hint 1. The lowest limit of the number of enemies defecting is 1 unit of enemy, and the highest is 10,000 units of enemy. The loyalty of the enemy after defection is at least 80 points. Lord Talent Hint 2. Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade is the current upper limit of the force you can instigate to defect. This upper limit can grow. Lord Talent Hint 3. This talent can only be activated once a day. Zhou raised his eyebrows. There was actually such a skill. In addition, this was the first time he had seen so many Lord Talent notifications. Then, Zhou quickly thought of the first party he would use it on. Regional Scarlet Lord Faction, Sandman Lord, Boxino VL. COM as Zhou's current greatest enemy. It would be a pity not to use this Insight defection ability on it. However, Zhou opened the World Channel to see what the Lords were talking about before that. He estimated that many Lords would probably know about the death of Lord Mighty by now. That was indeed the case. When he opened the World Channel, the main content of the Lord's conversation was about the Lord of the Blazing Sun killing Lord Mighty. I've long seen through it. This Lord of the Blazing Sun is someone who does things without any bottom line for his own development. He can even casually kill his fellow Cerulean planet lords. What would he not dare to do? From now on, I will hate the Lord of the Blazing Sun for the rest of my life. It's a pity that Lord Mighty died so suddenly. He was a pretty good lord. I've always felt that the Lord of the Blazing Sun wasn't a good person, but now, it's just as I thought. Lord Mighty's desire to live was very strong. He should have already told the Lord of the Blazing Sun that he was willing to become his subject, but even so, the Lord of the Blazing Sun still killed him. I really didn't expect him to be so ruthless. Is this what it means to compete for supremacy? This is the first time I've felt its cruelty. Another day that I don't want to be a lord. Everyone be careful of Lord of the Blazing Sun. If he can kill Lord Mighty today, he can kill us tomorrow. The Lord of the Blazing Sun is too strong. If he continues to develop, he will definitely become a huge threat to us in the future. I suggest that we join forces to repel the Lord of the Blazing Sun. As soon as the matter arose, all kinds of devils are coming out. Zhou's eyes became colder and colder as he watched the Lord's conversation on the World Channel. He was not angry. He had just silently added the Lords who spoke ill of him to his transaction blacklist. From now on, they would not have the right to buy the transactions he announced. Then, he opened the video he had recorded previously. He reviewed the video again after using some mosaics to block some more sensitive content. After confirming that the content of this video would not expose some important information about him, he set it up as a transaction and sent it to the exchange, allowing all the Lords to download it for free. This transaction was naturally open to all the Lords on the blacklist. Soon, with his own fame and the popularity of this matter, the free transaction he posted quickly ranked first in the number of transaction views. The Lords who watched the entire video were immediately in an uproar. Fuck. So this is how Lord Mighty died. Good riddance. Good punishment. I'm dying of laughter. Is this the good Lord you all were talking about? Where are the people who said that Big Boss Blazing Sun has no bottom line? Stand up. Is this what you mean by having no bottom line? I'm really sick of it. There are keyboard warriors who don't know anything everywhere. They criticize others so easily. Isn't this a slap in the face? It was too cheap a way for this person to die. The Lord of the Blazing Sun was too soft on him. He actually gave him the easiest way to die. Is this Big Brother Blazing Sun's voice? It's cold and domineering. Sisters, I love it so much. I love it too. That child is right. Big Boss Blazing Sun is clearly a hero. The Lord's arguments flip-flopped once the video was out. The people who had said that the Lord of the Blazing Sun was in the wrong all fell silent. They thought that they would be able to escape if they did not comment anymore. However, what they did not know yet was that Zhou had already put them on his blacklist. They would realize sooner or later that they could no longer buy the goods sold by the Lord of the Blazing Sun. At the same time, the other lords on the World Channel also began to whip their corpses. They also advocated the Lord of the Blazing Sun's righteousness. Zhou saw all of this, but there was no fluctuation in his heart. It seemed that there were some things that would not change even if it was in a different world. The territory of the Dragon Lady Lord. In front of the Wyvern's nest. The Dragon Lady Lord looked at the reversal on the World Channel with surprise. She had originally thought that the Lord of the Blazing Sun would leave a bad impression on the Cerulean Planet Lords because he had not handled this matter well. This way, she might be able to surpass him and become the most famous Cerulean Planet Lord. She did not expect that his video would make billions of Cerulean Planet Lords have a good impression of him. A reputation crisis actually turned into an opportunity in his hands. Good move. She admired but was jealous at the same time. But it had to be said that she felt very good seeing the Lord of the Blazing Sun deal with that scumbag, Lord Mighty, from a woman's perspective. She hesitated for a moment before she tried to add Lord of the Blazing Sun as a friend. Many lords took the initiative to add her as a friend knowing that she possessed an epic tier lord talent. That gave her a lot of connections ever since she became famous. However, this was the first time she had taken the initiative to add someone as a friend. She was inexplicably expectant. Soon, a notification appeared in front of her. The other party cannot be added as a friend. Dragon Lady Lord. In an undead cemetery, 1 green bronze tier elementary grade undead knight, 5 black iron tier advanced grade zombie elites, 50 black iron tier intermediate grade ghosts, and 100 black iron tier elementary grade skeleton soldiers lingered. In the middle of them was a coffin. Zhang Han, who was in the coffin, also saw what happened on the World Channel. I thought I'd see a good show. What a killjoy. Zhang Han's expression was cold like a real corpse. As the Lord of the Blazing Sun became increasingly famous, he who had originally treated him as prey, began to fear him. I need to be stronger. My soldiers, go destroy a Scarlet Lord's territory. If it doesn't work the first time, then go again. A faint voice sounded. Roar. X-156. All the undead creatures wandered towards the Scarlet Lord's castle in the distance, accompanied by a terrifying and shrill roar. Zhou saw that the matter with Lord Mighty had calmed down. He did not do anything else and closed the World Channel. It's time to upgrade the territory. Zhou suppressed the urge to try the new Lord talent and walked out of the Lord's wooden house. Then he looked at the building in front of him. With a thought, a line of text appeared. Do you want to upgrade the Lord's wooden house? Yes, Zhou said. The next second, a golden light covered the entire Lord's wooden house. The long-awaited upgrade had begun. Chapter 48 Channel Announcement. The unique title of the race. A moment later, the golden light that covered the Lord's wooden house dissipated. Zhou looked over. Not only was the Lord's wooden house much larger and more exquisite than before, there was also a small courtyard surrounded by stone walls. A series of text notifications appeared. Congratulations, your Lord's wooden house has been upgraded to a green bronze tier elementary grade building. It has been upgraded to a Lord's courtyard. There is an additional courtyard. Your territory has been upgraded to a green bronze tier elementary grade territory. Territory token durability increased to 20000/20000. Your territory has expanded to 5000 m times 5000 m times 3000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. Box in OVL. COM. You have received an upgrade reward. Wall blueprint. Green bronze tier elementary grade. Lord talent hint. The upper limit of the enemy lord's forces that you can instigate to defect has been increased to white platinum tier elementary grade. Lord talent hint. Your monster ranch can be upgraded. Before Zhou could react, 3 rows of familiar golden text suddenly appeared in front of him. It also appeared in front of billions of Cerulean Planet Lords. Cerulean Planet World Channel Announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun, becoming the first Cerulean Planet Lord to upgrade his territory to green bronze tier elementary grade. Reward: Supreme Treasure Chest +1, Reputation Rating +1, Unique Title of the Race, Glory of the Pioneer Eye. Cerulean Planet World Channel Announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Cerulean Planet World Channel Announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. It's been broadcasted on the entire channel as a Lord announcement. A smile appeared on Zhou face. He had a faint feeling previously that there might be a huge change when his territory advanced from Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. It has come true now. Moreover, it was a Lord announcement for the entire channel. This time, not only did he obtain a higher reputation rating and a supreme treasure chest, moreover, he had obtained a unique title of race. He had never seen this before. Zhou searched for a while. Soon, he found the title in the Lord's personal information. Lord title: Lord of the Blazing Sun, Glory of the Pioneer Eye. Title: The Glory of the Pioneer. Title quality: Unique Title of the Race. Title effect 1. You are famous among the Cerulean Planet Lords. More people admire your reputation and yearn to join your territory. Number of subjects you can summon through the gate of summoning every day plus 100%. Professional talents of the same level as the territory among the subjects summoned plus 2. Title effect 2. The suffix of your unique title of the race will be added behind your title of Lord when you comment in any channel. You can turn it off or activate it. Title effect 3. When you become the first Cerulean Planet Lord to possess a white silver tier elementary grade territory, this title will be upgraded to Glory of the Pioneer 2 and unlock more title effects. Title description: Exclusive title given to the pioneers in the Lords of all races by the Supreme Will. There is a higher chance that the pioneer of every race will have extraordinary achievements. Zhou looked at its title effects in surprise. The last two were still alright. However, title effect 1 was what Zhou's current territory needed. His territory was not lacking in soldiers at the moment. What he lacked was subjects without professions. This was because unemployed subjects could be changed into sword shield soldiers and poison crossbow soldiers by his large number of sword shield soldier class change certificates and poison crossbow soldier class change certificates. They could also be arranged to be Elder Zhao's subordinates and kitchen staff. In short, there would definitely be no idlers. Moreover, there would be 2 professional talents of the same level as the territory among the subjects summoned every day. This meant that he would be able to summon 2 green bronze tier elementary grade professional talents from tomorrow onwards, since his territory level was now green bronze tier elementary grade. In the future, when his territory level increased to the mythical tier, he would be able to add 2 mythical tier talents to the territory every day. This growth rate was simply ridiculous. As for title effect 2, Zhou looked at its introduction and thought for a moment before opening the World Channel. At this moment, the World Channel was discussing Zhou's announcement. Good Lord, how ridiculous. This is the 3rd time, right? I feel like Big Boss Blazing Sun owns the reputation ranking. Be confident and get rid of your feelings. Big Boss Blazing Sun will always be a god. I want to see Big Boss Blazing Sun open the Supreme Treasure Chest. +1. It is probably a golden shovel crown. This way it can give Big Boss Blazing Sun one more person in his army. Sundra face. It is easy to know one's fate as a heaven-defying man. It has the same pronunciation from the Idia. It is easy to know one's fate but difficult to change it. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Glory of the Pioneer Eye. Huh? What did I see? Fuck. The Lord of the Blazing Sun himself. Hug his thigh and transform into his leg hair. Big Brother Blazing Sun. I love you. Is this the unique title of the race? It is really a legend, isn't it too dazzling? This title is so beautiful. I'm jealous. Boohoo, I want the unique title of the race too. I really didn't expect Big Boss Blazing Sun's first comment to appear like this. Brothers, I have a bold idea. Zhou was speechless. Originally, he only wanted to test how this unique title of the race would appear on the World Channel. He did not expect to see such heaven-defying comments as soon as he opened the World Channel. He shook his head. His gaze landed on his unique title of the race. The words, Glory of the Pioneer Eye, were in gold and looked very noble. It looked very eye-catching even among the countless lords' comments in the World Channel. The more Zhou looked at it, the more satisfied he became. He was even happier than when he found out about its title effect. Strength was temporary while being handsome was for life. This title will advance in the future. I wonder what it will be like after it advances. Zhou was looking forward to it. Then, he looked at the wall blueprint he obtained as an upgrade reward. Construction blueprint name. Wall. Blueprint grade. Green bronze tier elementary grade blueprint effect. Beginner building blueprint. You can master the construction method of a green bronze tier elementary grade building wall after the blueprint is learned by an architect. You can build a defensive building wall to protect the territory. Construction materials. Every cubic meter of wall requires 1 unit of wood, 1 unit of fine sand, 1 unit of metal, 1 unit of stone. Learning requirement. Only architects can learn it. Prompt. The wall is a special type of elementary building. It can be moved freely without dismantling, making it easier for the territory to expand. Zhou's eyes lit up when he saw this blueprint. There was a high chance that the Novice Lord's protective barrier would disappear after 2 days. This wall blueprint could replace the Novice Lord's protective barrier to protect his territory. This wall blueprint came at the right time. I was right to work hard to upgrade my territory. Zhou was even happier about his choice. As for the other lords, they could only rely on building their own wall to resist the attack of the fog monsters, unless they had an architect who had mastered the wall construction skill if they did not upgrade to a green bronze tier elementary grade territory. When the time comes, it would definitely be harder for them to defend against the fog monsters' attacks than it was for him. Thinking of this, Zhou first put away the wall blueprint and planned to look for Zhao Changshu later to discuss the construction of the wall. As for now, his gaze landed on the supreme treasure chest in front of him. Chapter 49 The Time Ruins Key. Upgrade the Gate of Summoning. Zhou opened the supreme treasure chest. There was a green bronze key quietly placed inside. An item information notification appeared. Treasure name. Time Ruins Treasure Grade. Green bronze tier. Treasure effect. Use the Time Ruins key in an open space in the territory. You can activate a green bronze tier historical battle. The Time Ruins of the Defense of Under. Treasure description. The source of the Time Ruins is unknown. When living beings participate in the Time Ruins and complete the time missions within, they can obtain the gift of time. Note: this Time Ruins is an equipment-producing ruin. There is a high chance of producing conventional equipment, black iron tier, green bronze tier, and a small chance of producing the high-level soldier recruitment book, elemental archer recruitment book. There is a very small chance of producing a hero inheritance secret manual. Zhou raised his eyebrows. This Time Ruins mystic realm looked interesting, especially the hero inheritance secret manual. Boxin OVL. That should be the most precious treasure in the entire Time Ruins from the probability of producing it. I wonder what kind of treasure would that be? Zhou thought curiously. A moment later, an empty area in the Blazing Sun City. This place was relatively far from the residential area of Blazing Sun City, and there were no buildings around. It was considered to be an undeveloped piece of land. Zhou stood there and looked at the Time Ruins key in his hand. With a thought, a line of golden text appeared. Do you want to use the Time Ruins key to open the door to the Time Ruins? Yes, Zhou said. The next second, the green bronze key in his hand suddenly disintegrated into countless green bronze light spots, forming a green bronze door 5 meters tall and 2 meters wide in front of him. Zhou looked at it in surprise. A message from the door appeared. Time Ruins name, the Defensive Ungrade. Green Bronster Time Ruins description. On September 16, year 10505 of the Supreme Calendar, nearly 1,000 Scarlet Monsters launched a surprise attack on Undertown, a town at the border of the Elven Empire. 13 Elven elemental archers guarding Undertown caused huge casualties to the enemy. Nonetheless, this battle ended with the town falling. Countless Elven Empire higher-ups lamented at the sacrifice of these 13 Elven elemental archers. Note 1. This Time Ruins will automatically reset once a day for a new opportunity to enter. Note 2. You can only bring a maximum of 100 subjects into this Time Ruins. Note 3. You won't really die if you die in the Time Ruins, but you will fall into a weak state for 24 hours. Well, go in and take a look when Zhongsong and the others return tonight. Zhou immediately thought after reading it. In any case, they wouldn't really die, so it wouldn't matter even if they failed. He would bring the white silver tier elementary grade Nazario in if all else failed. Zhou did not believe that a white silver tier elementary grade pure-blooded dragon could not even deal with a green bronze tier time relic. Then he returned to the Lord's courtyard to check the next level upgrade content. Construction upgrade, 5,000 units of wood, 5,000 units of fine sand, 5,000 units of metal, 5,000 units of stone, 100 green bronze tier mist cores, 1 origin crystal, 1 green bronze tier territory token. Zhou raised his eyebrows. This time he needed a lot more materials to upgrade. 20,000 units for basic materials alone. And also the need for 1 origin crystal. It wasn't that bad since he had these 2 items. However, he could not satisfy the need for the 100 green bronze tier mist cores and 1 green bronze tier territory token for the time being. I would still need to hunt down more Scarlet Lords to obtain 100 green bronze tier mist cores and 1 green bronze tier territory token, Zhou thought to himself. Probably very few human lords would possess the green bronze tier mist cores and green bronze tier territory tokens at this stage. Only Scarlet Lords who had developed in the High Continent for an unknown period of time could provide him with these advancement materials. He stopped thinking about it. Zhou was not in a hurry to upgrade the Gate of Summoning. Instead, he entered the Lord's courtyard first. The ground in the huge Lord's courtyard was flat, and a green brick path led from the door to the courtyard. We can grow some fruits and vegetables in this courtyard, or some nice flowers and plants. Zhou looked at the courtyard in front of him with a very satisfied expression. Then, he left the Lord's courtyard and went to the Gate of Summoning. Do you want to upgrade the Gate of Summoning? Yes, he said. The Gate of Summoning lit up slightly before calming down. A text notification appeared. Congratulations, your Gate of Summoning has been upgraded to a green bronze tier elementary grade building. You can summon plus 10 subjects every day. You will definitely summon 3 professionals every day. Prompt. Under the influence of the race's unique title, Glory of the Pioneer Eye, the number of subjects you can summon every day has increased to 44. You will definitely summon 5 professionals every day. And the professional levels of 2 of them will be the same as your territory level. Not bad. I can summon 44 subjects a day now. And there will be at least 5 professionals. Zhou nodded in satisfaction. This was a huge upgrade. Then, he looked at the upgrade requirements to upgrade the Gate of Summoning to green bronze tier intermediate grade. Construction upgrade, 2,000 units of wood, 2,000 units of fine sand, 2,000 units of metal, 2,000 units of stone, 50 green bronze tier mist cores for the territory level to be upgraded to green bronze tier intermediate grade. He still lacked the green bronze tier mist cores. Zhou pondered. Even a regional Scarlet Lord would probably not be able to satisfy him with the requirement of so many green bronze tier mist cores. He had to find more sources of green bronze tier mist cores. He quickly thought of a source. His monster ranch. Now that my territory has been upgraded, the monster ranch should be able to nurture green bronze tier fog monsters, right? Thinking of this, Zhou immediately went to look for Zhao Changshu, who was building a warehouse then. Seeing Zhou arrive, he asked the soldiers to continue working while he quickly walked up to Zhou. Greetings, my lord. Zhao Changshu said respectfully. Elder Zhao, I want to build the wall tomorrow. In addition, I plan to build a 3rd monster ranch before tonight, and upgrade all 3 monster ranches to green bronze tier elementary grade. Can you do that? Zhou asked. Time is a little tight. I need to transfer all the people in the territory right now to help to complete it. Elder Zhao frowned and thought for a while before saying, no problem. Zhou readily agreed. Then he took out the black iron tier building material sand crystal for Elder Zhao to see. Elder Zhao's eyes lit up when he saw the sand crystal. Sand crystal? Elder Zhao, you really know your stuff. Zhou smiled. I naturally recognize such practical building materials. In the past, many high-level buildings built under my auspices would be mixed with sand crystal to increase defense, resistance to earthquakes, and enhance the habitability of the buildings. However, sand crystals originate from the desert and are scarce in production. In addition, many Scarlet Lords are rampant in the desert, and there are fewer and fewer adventurers who dare to explore the desert. Over the years, sand crystals have become rarer and rarer in the market. I didn't expect the Lord to have it here. Zhao Changshu clicked his tongue in wonder. Our territory won't be lacking in sand crystals. Zhou smiled. He had already planned to open a monster ranch to nurture sandmen tonight. When the time comes, this monster ranch would be equivalent to a sand crystal mine that could produce endless sand crystals. This way the sand crystals could be added to strengthen all the buildings in addition to the wall. It could be said that this sand crystal already occupied a rather important position in his territory development plan. Chapter 50 Mugu's Massive Upgrade. Using Insight Defection. Zhou and Zhao Changshu immediately went to the monster ranch to look for Mugu. Can we build a green bronze tier elementary grade monster ranch now? Zhou asked with a smile when he saw Mugu. Sure. Not only can I build a green bronze tier elementary grade monster ranch now, my ability has also been upgraded. I'm already a green bronze tier elementary grade monster rancher and monster shepherd. I can manage up to 4 green bronze tier elementary grade monster ranches at the same time. Moreover, the upper limit of the number of monsters I can nurture per monster ranch has increased from 500 to 750. Mugu said respectfully. Zhou was delighted. Boxin OVL. COM. He immediately opened his attribute panel. Subject: Mugu, Territory, Blazing Sun City, Life Profession, Monster Rancher, Profession Class, Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, Battle Class Name, Monster Shepherd Strength Level, Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Ability Overview. The Monster Rancher of the Monster Ranch is also a Monster Shepherd who is good at fighting fog monsters. He is proficient in communication, taming and controlling fog monsters. There is a chance to upgrade a normal fog monster to an elite fog monster, or even a leader fog monster. Skills: Special Building Monster Ranch Fog Monsters Communication Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, Fog Monster Taming Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, Fog Monster Control Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, Fog Monster Berserk Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, Fog Monster Appease Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, Loyalty, Dead Loyal, Potential, Diamond Tier Advanced Grade. Good God! Not only had the Monster Rancher and Monster Shepherd profession levels increased to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, many of the skills he had were also upgraded to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. It seemed that Mugu was probably the one with the greatest gains in the entire territory other than him. Not bad. A smile appeared on his face. The Monster Ranch was his territory's daily fixed income. This fixed income had increased again. He was naturally very happy. Then Zhou handed his last origin crystal to Mugu. Even though upgrading his territory also required origin crystals, the most important matter now was to build a wall with sand crystals embedded in it. Therefore, it was better to use the origin crystals to build the Monster Ranch first. In any case, the regional Scarlet Lords would definitely drop origin crystals. He would use the origin crystals dropped by the regional Scarlet Lords to upgrade his territory after taking them down in the future. The rest of the matter would need both of your hard work. Zhou looked at Mugu and Zhao Changshu. It's our duty to serve my lord. My lord, you're too kind, Zhao Changshu said. Mugu also nodded seriously. Zhou acknowledged. He did not stay any longer and returned to the territory. Then he realized that he seemed to have nothing to do. Zhou wandered aimlessly in the territory for a while before arriving at the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. Greetings, my lord. X5 Ashburn and his 4 apprentices, who were refining the life potion, immediately said respectfully when they saw Zhou. You guys go ahead. I'll chat with your teacher. Zhou said. Yes. The 4 apprentices looked at Ashburn respectfully and enviously before focusing on their work. Zhou also opened the personal information of the 4 apprentices and realized that they had already become Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Alchemy Technicians. You're good at. All 4 of your students have actually become alchemy technicians. I didn't know you were so good at teaching. He was a little surprised. They're working hard too. Ashburn laughed. You should be more relaxed recently with these apprentices around, right? Zhou asked. In the past few days, other than the contribution of a small portion of the products produced by the Gnome Alchemy Workshop to Zhou as his private property, most of the remaining products would be recorded first and handed to Bai Yi and the others to be distributed according to the soldiers' contributions and needs. Therefore, Zhou gradually stopped interfering in matters here. And since Ashburn was dead loyal to him, he was not worried that this gnome would line his own pocket. It's much easier. But I don't dare to be lazy either. I've been studying the refining method of the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Life Potion recently. It is showing some results now. I might be able to advance to a Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Alchemy Technician if it works out. Ashburn said. Don't you need Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Alchemy Potion Formula or blueprints for alchemy technology products? Zhou raised his eyebrows. Advancement methods for ordinary lifestyle professionals would include advancing through researching and mastering higher-level professional abilities. This was the first time he had heard of Ashburn's advancement method. Thanks to my lord, I've already mastered 5 alchemy test methods. Even if I am not of the Green Bronze Tier Elementary grade, I will be able to learn and master them because I've accumulated enough. I can also advance by creating my own Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Life Potion. Ashburn said. Zhou acknowledged. He naturally hoped that Ashburn could advance. His soldiers were getting stronger and stronger. The Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Life Potions and 2 doctors were no longer enough to satisfy the treatment needs of all the soldiers. If Ashburn could develop a Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Life Potion, it would naturally be a good thing for his soldiers. After that, Zhou chatted with Ashburn for a while before walking out of the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. It's a little boring. Zhou sighed. The fact that a lord could rely on soldiers to kill monsters to level up was very satisfying. It was just that sometimes he would have nothing to do. He thought for a while and suddenly had a bold idea. A moment later, Zhou came to an empty space to the east of Blazing Sun City. A lava dragon more than 6 meters tall was lying there sunbathing. In front of it was a thick stack of roasted meat and a large vat of water. It was Nazario. Due to its size, Zhou's room could no longer be used by Nazario. Therefore, he temporarily arranged for it to stay here. Do you want to go out and play? Zhou looked at Nazario and tempted him. Nazario suddenly raised its dragon head, and its pure red dragon eyes immediately revealed an excited expression. 15 minutes later, in the skies more than 100 meters away, Zhou grabbed the lava armor on Nazario's back tightly, looking as excited as his dragon. He was flying. He might be flying in the sky with the help of his pet, but it also allowed him to experience the feeling of flying. Soon, Zhou looked at the ground with a focused gaze. A crudely built pyramid stood in the desert. Teams of sandmen were patrolling the pyramid in an organized manner. There were about 700 to 800 of them in total. It was the territory of the regional Scarlet Lord, Sandman Lord. We're here. Just circle over their pyramid. Don't descend. And don't let them hurt either of us. Zhou said. Nazario growled. Then it began to circle above the pyramid. The Sandman subjects below quickly discovered Nazario and Zhou. They roared and tried to attack Zhou in their own ways. For example, using guns, spears, bows, and other weapons. However, no matter how they attacked, they could not hurt Nazario and Zhou, who were more than 100 meters above the ground. When Zhou saw this, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He knew from Bai Yi that these sandmen could not fly. That allowed him to be bold enough to ride Nazario to their territory and be arrogant. However, he was not just here to be arrogant. The main reason was because he wanted to use the Lord talent he had just obtained to incite defection. This talent could only be activated once a day, and it could not accumulate. It would be a waste if he did not use it. Zhou naturally would allow such shameful wastage. Pull their grudge, Zhou said in a low voice. Nazario roared excitedly, and dragon might instantly erupted. At the same time, it also opened its mouth. A faint red light appeared from its throat. The next second, whoosh, the surging hot magma dragon breath spewed out of its mouth. It descended from the sky and stood at the very top of the pyramid. Then, at a speed visible to the naked eye, the magma dragon breath quickly melted more than half of the pyramid. In the pyramid, Some sandmen in gorgeous clothes raised their heads and looked at Zhou and Nazario through the hole above them. Zhou laughed loudly. Then, he stretched out his right hand and aimed his palm at them. Lord Talent. Insight defection. Activate. Boom! An invisible fluctuation instantly covered the entire territory of Lord Sandman below. Some sandmen's bodies stiffened. Then, their eyes immediately became irritable and bloodthirsty. They turned around and killed their sandmen companions beside them. The eyes of the other sandmen were dark and unfathomable, as if they had their own consciousness. However, they did not act rashly. Instead, they quietly disappeared among the sandmen, waiting for their true master's orders. I seem to be able to control these sandmen I instigated through mind guidance, and they can deliver some simple orders. Zhou discovered another hidden ability of his talent. It had to be said that this ability was quite practical. Moreover, it would probably unleash an unexpected and shocking effect when used at a specific time. Then he looked at the notification that had just appeared. Prompt. You have activated your lord's exclusive talent, Insight Defection. Insight Defection has taken effect. Lord Talent hint. A total of 14 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade, 5 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade, 2 Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade, 1 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, and 1 Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade sandmen have betrayed their lord's faction and become your loyal subordinates. I think I can mass-produce traitors, Zhou said with a strange expression. Chapter 51 The Monster Ranch is built. Found the Fish Spring Town. Zhou looked at the Lord Talent notification in front of him and smiled. He had thought that it would be good enough if he could instigate some Black Iron Tier Sandman monsters to defect this time. He did not expect it to be able to instigate a Green Bronze Tier Sandman leader. As for his orders, it was to let the Black Iron Tier Sandman carry out a suicide attack within themselves. He would exhaust as many of them as he could. As for the 2 Green Bronze Tier Sandman leaders under his control, Zhou ordered them not to expose themselves first. Their status was not ordinary. He could let the 2 of them play ruthlessly within the enemy when he led the main force to attack tomorrow. Zhou did not stay any longer. He got Nazario to bring him back to Blazing Sun City. Boxinoviel. COM on the way back. Zhou had more ideas about this Insight Defection talent. This should be the correct way to activate this talent. If I encounter a difficult enemy, I should come over every day and instigate them to rebel. I might be able to turn all of the other party's forces into spies in the end by accumulating them in this way. In the end, there would only be one enemy leader left. Zhou thought mischievously. Time passed quickly. Night fell. The scarlet fog gradually appeared in the world. Zhou, who was feeding Nazario the Black Iron Tier mist cores, suddenly saw Zhao Changshu walking over from afar. My lord! We didn't let the lord down. The 3rd monster ranch has been built, and all 3 monster ranches have been upgraded to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. Zhao Changshu came in front of Zhou and said respectfully, Let's go. Let's go take a look. Zhou's eyes lit up. A moment later, the 2 of them arrived at the monster ranch. 3 monster ranches were 150% their previous sizes. Moreover, not only did it cover a larger area, its architectural style was also a little more ancient. Mugu was already waiting for Zhou here. He immediately walked over when he saw his lord coming. Reporting to my lord. All 3 monster ranches have been built and upgraded. A total of 28,000 units of basic materials, 1,000 Black Iron Tier mist cores, and 1 origin crystal has been consumed. Mugu said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. He now had nearly 280,000 units of basic materials. In terms of the Black Iron Tier mist core, he had obtained more than 3,000 of them this morning by clearing the monster ranches. This consumption was naturally nothing. We can start harvesting sand crystals tomorrow. Elder Zhao. Make sure every cubic meter of the wall is mixed with a bit of the sand crystal when you build it tomorrow. Zhou said. Yes, my lord. Zhao Changshu said respectfully. A moment later, Wu Tu's 30 reconnaissance team members and more than 900 soldiers led by Zhang Song also returned. My lord, we've already cleared out all the scattered monsters in the Blazing Sun Desert. Zhongsong said excitedly. Well done. I'll remember your contribution. Zhou acknowledged. Zhongsong's eyes lit up. As the team of soldiers continued to expand, Zhou had already established the military officer positions among them. They could exchange for food, equipment, potions, mechanostriders, positions, and many other benefits in the territory through military merits. It was not perfect yet, and some military merit systems were still relatively crude, but it could already mobilize the enthusiasm of the soldiers. Therefore, Zhou's words were not a lie. After that, Zhou and Zhongsong went to retrieve the loot. Half an hour later, all the loots had been extracted. Today, they had cleared a total of 624 scattered monsters. Among them, there were 156 desert fog lizards, 389 black-tailed fog scorpions, and 79 sandmen. He obtained a total of 1,947 black iron tier mist cores, 16,540 units of flesh, black iron tier elementary, intermediate and advanced grade, 427 kilograms water bag, 389 portions of the black-tailed fog scorpion's poison sac, black iron tier elementary, intermediate and advanced grade, 389 bottles of antidotes, black iron tier elementary, intermediate and advanced grade, 168 sword shield soldier class change certificates, 68 sword shield soldier recruitment books, 414 poison crossbowman class change certificates, 137 poison crossbowman recruitment books, 12 black iron tier advanced grade sand stealth techniques, 25 black scorpion poison crossbows of black iron tier advanced grade, 25 black iron tier advanced grade antidote formulas, 145 kilograms of sand crystal, 79 sandification and sandman summoning skill books. In addition, there were 4 black iron tier advanced grade sandification and 4 black iron tier advanced grade sand summoning. Skill name, sandification. Skill quality, black iron tier advanced grade. Skill description, sandify a part of the body for 5 seconds. Immune to black iron tier physical damage and some green bronze tier physical damage. After 5 seconds, the sandified part of the body will return to its original state. Skill name, summon elite sandman. Skill quality, black iron tier advanced grade. Skill description, summoning type skill. Controls the sand element and condenses 4 elite black iron tier advanced grade sandmen, who will obey your orders completely and have simple intelligence to fight for you. Zhou chose to learn it immediately. This black iron tier advanced grade skill was much stronger than the original black iron tier elementary grade skill. Will the green bronze tier sandman leader drop green bronze tier sandman and sandman summoning skills then? Zhou thought. Then he stopped thinking about it. He would find out soon enough. He took out the map of the Blazing Sun Desert. At this moment, the paths on the map had already changed. Area map name, Blazing Sun Desert map. Current exploration rate, 82%. From 59% to 82%. It should reach 100% as long as we get rid of the last Sandman Lord. Zhou thought, even though there would not be any rewards if he reached 100%. But this was like seeing the complete jigsaw pattern after the last piece was put in place. Anyone would feel a sense of accomplishment. After that, Zhou went to the Gate of Summoning and used the recruitment books he had just obtained to recruit 68 sword shield soldiers and 137 poison crossbow soldiers. The number of soldiers under his command had reached 1,883. He handed these recruits to Bai Yi and told her about the time ruins. He asked them to rest for an hour after dinner before bringing 95 of the strongest soldiers with her to the time ruins. Bai Yi received the order and left. Zhou returned to the Lord's courtyard. As soon as he returned, he saw Wu Tu waiting for him at the door. Come in with me, Zhou said. Then, he opened the courtyard door and walked the brick path into the house. Wu Tu followed behind. In the living room, Zhou asked about their results today after he asked Wu Tu to sit down. My lord, we patrolled the exterior of the entire Blazing Sun Desert today and learned the general distribution. After Wu Tu finished speaking, he took out a yellowish-brown papyrus map. It was also a regional map of the Blazing Sun Desert. However, it was different from the map he had given Zhou last night. 3 other areas with general outlines appeared around this map of the blazing sun desert. They were the desolate Gobi, a black iron tier area in the north, the Thorn Dune, a black iron tier area in the east, as well as the Fish Spring Town, a green bronze tier area in the southwest. Zhou gaze landed on the map of Fish Spring Town. He could not help but raise his eyebrows. Good God! It turned out that Fish Spring Town was beside the blazing sun desert all along. It did not take much effort to get to it. Chapter 52, Entering the Time Ruins. Time Mission. Wu Tu, were you also a subject of the Aurora Kingdom before you came to me? Zhou thought for a moment and suddenly asked. Wu Tu was stunned. Then he immediately stood up in panic. My lord, I was previously a subject of the Aurora Kingdom. However, after joining the Lord, am already a subject of Blazing Sun City, be it physically or psychologically. My lord, please believe in my loyalty. Sit down, sit down. I didn't mean that. I believe you. Zhou looked at his flustered expression and immediately knew that the child had misunderstood. He reassured him, caught between laughter and tears. Wu Tu's loyalty was almost at 90 points. He naturally did not doubt Wu Tu's loyalty. He just suddenly thought of something. He had thought that the principle of the Gate of Summoning its subjects was to randomly summon humans to him on the High Continent. However, an increasing number of his subjects were from the Aurora Kingdom, making Zhou gradually feel that his thoughts might be wrong. The Gate of Summoning probably did not randomly summon its subjects from the High Continent. Boxinoviel. Com instead. He summoned his subjects according to proximity. Even talents that came because of the reputation rating were the same. Since his territory was close to the Aurora Kingdom, therefore, be it the subjects summoned by the Gate of Summoning or the talents attracted by the reputation rating, most of them came from the Aurora Kingdom. In that case, the map of Wu Tu's Fish Spring Town, Bao Xior's Master-Disciple Reunion Mission, and the location of Fish Spring Town near the Blazing Sun Desert were not accidents. They were just a coincidence with a higher chance. Wu Tu heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Zhou's words. Do you have a map of Fish Spring Town on you now? Zhou asked. Yes, but I drew it in the past. There might be some deviations now. If you need it, I'll go to Fish Spring Town and redraw the map there tomorrow. It won't take long. One morning would be enough. As Wu Tu spoke, he took out a map and handed it to Zhou. Zhou took it and looked at it. Regional map name. Fish Spring Town map. Current exploration rate. 2%. Map quality. Green bronze tier total area. 1,011 square kilometers. Map description. This map depicts the general terrain of Fish Spring Town and the related map information. It includes the area, geographical scale, terrain distribution, the range and location of the town, the commercial street, the residential area, the military camp area, the range of scattered monsters, the range and location of the Scarlet Lord's territory. As expected of a green bronze tier area, the total area alone was twice the size of the Blazing Sun Desert. Zhou clicked his tongue. Do you know the tailor Zhongli? She should be in Fish Spring Town. He looked at Wu Tu and asked after roughly reading the content of the map. Zhongli. That was Bao Xior's teacher. She was also the target of the White Platinum Tier Elementary Grade Hidden Mission, Master and Disciple Reunion. Zhongli. I think I've heard of her. I remember now. There's a new Wind tailor shop in Fish Spring Town. It's very famous in the town. In the past, when I went to Fish Spring Town to draw a map, I heard many residents say that the owner of New Wind tailor shop has very deft hands. I think her name is Zhongli. Wu Tu replied. Zhou's heart thumped. New Wind tailor shop. That sounds right. There is an 80% chance that it is Zhongli. Bring people and focus on sorting out the new area map of Fish Spring Town tomorrow. Also, investigate Zhongli. Pay attention to your investigation method. Don't offend her. Zhou reminded him. Yes, my lord. Wu Tu said seriously. Zhou acknowledged then. He let him go back. Half an hour later. In front of the time ruins. Zhou Nazario by Yi Zhongcong, 8 green bronze tier elementary grade soldiers, 62 black iron tier advanced grade soldiers, 25 black iron tier intermediate grade soldiers, and 2 doctors stood there. This was the strongest deployment of the top 100 people in Blazing Sun City. Some of the soldiers were soldiers who had just broken through today. After we go in, everyone, be on guard immediately. When you encounter danger, don't worry and counterattack. Protect the doctors, Zhou ordered. Yes, X-99 or Zhou acknowledged. Then, he led everyone and Nazario to the entrance of the Time Ruins. When they were 2 to 3 meters away from the entrance of the Time Ruins, a suction force came from inside the door. Even though everyone was a little surprised, they did not resist and were sucked in. Nazario was at the rear and studied the door in front of it curiously. Then it took a step forward and its 6-meter-tall dragon body was sucked in too. Zhou endured the dizziness and opened his eyes. It was a city ruin covered in smoke and flames as far as his eyes could see. The sound of flames burning, trees exploding, and faint monsters' roars. All kinds of voices came from all directions. Zhou frowned slightly and began to observe his surroundings. He was surrounded by his soldiers. At this moment, their eyes were still closed and they had yet to wake up from the dizziness of time travel. Zhou seemed to have understood something. It was probably because he had an elementary-grade mental potential talent and his mental strength was stronger that he could wake up so quickly. At this moment, they were on the roof of a 4-story building. This building was quite unique. It is made entirely of vines and trees. But at this moment, it was also charred by the explosion of the flames. The quality of this building is not bad. Looks like it's been burning for a while but it hasn't collapsed yet. Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. As soon as he finished speaking, Nazario appeared in front of him out of thin air. It stepped on the fragile house under its feet and stared at Zhou. Zhou, Nazario. Rumble. The building could no longer withstand the weight and began to collapse with a rumble. The moment it collapsed, Nazario bit Zhou's clothes and flew into the air. Zhou also reacted quickly. He aimed his palm at the ground where everyone had fallen. The energy in his body suddenly surged and boiled. Invisible energy quickly gathered on the ground. The hard brick ground in a radius of 300 to 400 square meters instantly turned into yellow sand and formed a huge quicksand pit. Green bronze tier elementary grade spell. Sand trap technique. Bang 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 bang. The 99 soldiers fell to the ground like dumplings. Fortunately, no one was injured because the ground had already become a quicksand pit. Not only that, they also woke up one after another. They did not waste a single moment. First, they were vigilant of their surroundings. After confirming that there was no danger around, they immediately jumped out of the quicksand pit and began to take sides. In midair, Zhou's face was a little pale. The large-scale sand trap technique just now instantly drained 60% of his energy. However, Zhou had nothing to regret. If he hadn't done that, he might have lost his people at the onset. They would not actually die, but this was not what Zhou wanted to see. Then he asked Nazario to put him down. After stepping on the ground, he immediately took out a bottle of black iron tier elementary grade energy potion and poured it into his mouth. After drinking it, his expression began to become normal at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the energy in his body began to recover quickly. "Thank you, my lord, for your help." Bai quickly walked over and said. When she saw their states and the traces of the sand trap technique under their feet, she guessed what had just happened. Zhou nodded slightly. This moment, howl! A wolf roar came from afar. Zhou and the others immediately looked over. A 3-meter-tall wolf monster wrapped in flames was standing on a tall building not far away, and looking at them with its scarlet and cruel eyes. At the same time, a mission interface also appeared in front of Zhou. Time negotiation has begun. Time mission announced. Time mission 1. Eliminate the enemy. Mission description. Eliminate all incoming fire demon fogwolves. Mission objective 1. Fire demon fogwolf, 0/1000. 2. Elite fire demon fogwolf, 0 for 300. 3. Fire demon fogwolf leader 10. Gift of time. There is a 25% chance of dropping equipment of the corresponding level after killing any level of the fire demon fogwolf. There is a 0.1% chance of dropping an additional elemental archer recruitment book after killing Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Fire Demon Fogwolf. Time Mission 2. Protect Friends. Mission Description. Protect the last 13 Elven Elemental Archers in Undertown. Mission Objective. Survival of the 13 Elven Elemental Archers 1313. Gift of Time. Every Elven Elemental Archer you protect until the Time Ruins closes will allow you to recruit one Elven Elemental Archer of the same level in reality. Note: Time Mission 1 needs to be completed. Time Mission 3. Hidden. Mission Description. Hidden. Mission Objective. Hidden. Gift of Time. Hero Inheritance Secret Manual. Note: both Time Missions 1 and 2 need to be completed. Time Ruins Countdown. 4 hours, 57 minutes, 35 seconds. Chapter 53 Fire Demon Fog Wolf Set. Set Attributes. We have to deal with more than 1,000 Fire Demon Fog Wolves in 5 hours? Zhou expression was calm. He was not worried. With a white silver tier elementary grade pure-blooded dragon like Nazario around, 5 hours were more than enough to deal with these monsters. At the same time, the flame demon fog wolf not far away also quickly died under the arrows of the 3 poison crossbowmen. They ran over and brought its corpse to Zhou. Zhou looked over. Item name: Corpse of the Fire Demon Fog Wolf. Item level: Black Iron Tier Elementary. Item effect: Contains unextracted loots. Boxen OVL. COM. Item description: a special life form in the Time Ruins. Its main body is a fog monster in the High Continent. It was later replicated here by the power of time. Prompt: in the Time Ruins, the monster corpses can be preserved until the Time Ruins reset. Loots: 2 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. Drop rate: 100%. 1 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Equipment. Fire Demon Fog Wolf Gloves. Drop rate: 25%. This was a monster that specialized in dropping equipment? Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. He covered the surface of his hand with a layer of energy and placed it on the burning corpse of the wolf, preparing to retrieve the loot. As for the notes on higher probabilities, lower probabilities, etc., it did not exist with him at all. The probability would become 100% even if its actual probability was 0%. Soon Zhou extracted the loot and looked at the only equipment. Equipment name: Fire Demon Fog Wolf Gloves. Equipment grade: Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. Equipment effect 1. Tenacity: reduces physical damage by 30% from Black Iron Tier weapons. Black Iron Tier weapons cannot pierce the wearer's body. Equipment effect 2. Fire resistance: reduces fire damage from external Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade by 30%. Current set completeness: 1/6. You can activate the attributes of the Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade set, the Brutal Blood of the Fire Demon Fog Wolf, after collecting the complete set, including the helmet, armor, belt, skirt armor, gauntlets, and boots. Introduction: don't kill because of tyranny. You should be tyrannical because of killing. Zhou raised his eyebrows. This was the first time he had seen equipment with the attributes as a set. Actually, strictly speaking, the military equipment the soldiers wore could be considered a set. However, no set attribute had appeared in the equipment he had come into contact with so far. He didn't think too much about it and put away the loot first. Then, he told Bai Yi and the others about the Time Mission 1 and 2. So the priority now is finding the 13 elemental archers first. Bai Yi immediately said. Zhou acknowledged. With the Blood Eye and Nazario around, it was not difficult to find and kill these fire demon fog wolves. However, he would lose a chance to recruit elemental archers in reality if any of the 13 elemental archers suffered any casualties. That was not what Zhou wanted to see. Bai Yi nodded. Then she got the soldiers to start applying Blood Eye to their eyes. Zhou applied it on himself too. After applying it, the soldiers each searched for a high place and checked where stronger blood energy or places where intense battles were happening in the entire town. Soon, a soldier discovered a place that seemed to be in the midst of an intense battle. After Zhou found out, he immediately looked over. About 2,000 meters to the southwest. More than a dozen blood chi of different sizes were running wildly in front, followed by more than 400 blood chi of at least the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade. Prepare for rescue. Zhou ordered in a low voice. He would take a look first regardless of whether it was actually them or not. Yes, Everyone agreed. Little Nadia. Put me down, you guys go first. Cough cough, be good. Your talent is much better than ours. Come back and avenge us when you become stronger in the future. Don't die here for nothing. A beautiful elf with milky white skin, wearing green archer equipment, said weakly to the female elf carrying her. This female elf had a pure and beautiful face. She had a pair of sparkling eyes that were like green jade. She also had a relatively small build because she was younger. When she heard her teammates' words, she gritted her teeth, and at the same time, the arrows she shot at the elite flame demon fogwolf behind her became even stronger. Whoosh! 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 Green arrows shot out like lightning. Every arrow accurately hit an elite fire demon fogwolf. Emerald green vines quickly grew from the place they were shot before the elite flame demon fogwolf could stop. In less than 5 seconds, these flame demon fogwolf were covered in vines and died tragically on the ground. Among the 400-odd fire demon fogwolves were 3 green bronze tier elementary grade flame demon fogwolf leaders. They were also shot by Nadia's arrows. However, the raging flames on the surface of their bodies burned these plants to ashes before the vines in their bodies could grow. Nadia was helpless when she saw this scene. This group of fire demon fogwolves was too good at restraining them, the wood elves. The elven residents of Undertown would not be wiped out so quickly by these 1,000 fire demon fogwolves if they were elves of any other elements. This moment, the elf behind her gave her a gentle look. Then, she gently let go and jumped down from Nadia's body to pounce on the fire demon fogwolf behind her. Nadia, who was shooting, watched this scene with narrowed pupils. Her face quickly turned pale. The moment this elf pounced on the fire demon fogwolf, roar! A shocking dragon roar resounded through the world. At the same time, the terrifying dragon might also descend from the sky, shocking all the fire demon fogwolves and elves below to the point of being unable to move. Bang! Jojo jumped down from the dragon's back and caught the elf that pounced on the fire demon fogwolf. Tap 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 tap. A large number of running footsteps came from all directions. Bai and the others rushed over and began to kill these fire demon fogwolves that were stunned by the dragon might under Jojo's orders in no time. The sounds of crossbow bolts, sabers and shields colliding were endless. The flame demon fogwolves were killed by Bai and the others without any means of resistance. Nazario did not attack. Instead, it maintained the release of its dragon might in the air. Jojo looked at this scene thoughtfully. He could also use this cooperation when cleaning up the monster ranch every day in the future. It should be more efficient. At this moment, the 13 elves also regained their freedom, because they were no longer suppressed by the dragon might. Are you reinforcements from the Empire? Nadia asked boldly. I'm just a human lord passing by, Jojo said. With that, he took out a bottle of black iron tier elementary grade life potion and handed it to an injured elf. After she drank it and recovered from some injuries, she immediately stood up in embarrassment when she realized that she was still in someone else's arms. Human lord. The remaining elves looked at each other. They were still a little puzzled, but they did not ask further. Instead, they picked up their bows and arrows and shot them into these attacking fire demon fogwolves. Jojo also took this opportunity to count these elves. There were indeed 13 of them. He relaxed. They should be the targets of his mission. Fortunately, there were no casualties. A moment later, all the fire demon fogwolves were eliminated. Jojo then asked the soldiers to hunt the surrounding fire demon fogwolves with this location as the center and asked Nazario to follow. With Nazario around, Jojo was not worried that Bai and the others would encounter any danger. He also began to extract the loots of these fire demon fogwolves. The first set of the Fire Demon Fogwolf set was collected in no time. Set name: Fire Demon Fogwolf Set. Set grade: Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Set attribute 1. Toughness: reduces physical damage by 90% from Black Iron Tier weapons. Black Iron Tier weapons cannot pierce the wearer's body. Set attribute 2. Fire resistance: ignores external Black Iron Tier intermediate grade fire damage. Set attribute 3. The brutal blood of the fire demon fogwolf activates the bloodline power in the set, causing the wearer to enter a brutal blood state for 10 minutes. In the brutal blood state, the wearer will fight crazily and kill all the enemies in front of him. At the same time, his defense will increase by 50%, strength will increase by 100%, pain will decrease by 80%, and fear will decrease by 80%. After 10 minutes, the wearer will enter an hour of weakness. Prompt: the percentage bonus will reach the maximum value when a black iron tier elementary grade lifeform wears it. The stronger the wearer is, the lower the equipment bonus. Current set completeness. June 6th. Introduction. Don't kill because of tyranny. You should be tyrannical because of killing. Zhou was a little surprised after reading the attributes. Not only were the attributes of this set comparable to black iron tier advanced grade military equipment, its effects were very practical for soldiers. He might be able to turn the tables if he used it when the situation was disadvantageous. A black iron tier elementary grade set had such prowess. What about higher level ones? Thinking of this, Zhou immediately increased the speed at which he extracted the loots. Chapter 54 Elemental Archer Recruitment Book. Mission completed. 15 minutes later. Zhou extracted the loots of the 400-odd fire demon fog wolf monsters under the watchful gazes of the 13 elves. They looked at them with halos in their eyes, as if he was the son of the supreme will. The black iron tier intermediate grade fire demon fog wolf would drop 4 black iron tier mist cores and 1 black iron tier intermediate grade elemental archer recruitment book. The black iron tier advanced grade elite fire demon fog wolf would drop 8 black iron tier mist cores and 1 black iron tier advanced grade elemental archer recruitment book. The green bronze tier elementary grade flame demon fog wolf leader would drop 2 green bronze tier mist cores and 2 green bronze tier elementary grade elemental archer recruitment books. There were a total of 432 of these monsters. Among them were 184 black iron tier intermediate grade, 245 elite black iron tier advanced grade, and 3 green bronze tier elementary grade. He obtained a total of 2,726 black iron tier mist cores and 6 green bronze tier mist cores. 25 sets of black iron tier intermediate grade fire demon fog wolf set. 34 sets of black iron tier advanced grade flame demon fog wolf set. 78 duplicate sets. Boxin OVL. COM, and last but not least, 251 elemental archer recruitment books. Zhou first looked at the black iron tier advanced grade flame demon fog wolf set. He realized that even though it was only a black iron tier advanced grade set, it could already withstand physical damage from the attack from someone of green bronze tier intermediate grade. Moreover, it could ignore fire damage from black iron tier advanced grade. Its set attributes had also increased greatly. Flame demon fog wolf's brutal blood activates the bloodline power in the set, causing the wearer to enter a brutal blood state for 25 minutes. Under the brutal blood state, the wearer will fight crazily and kill all the enemies in front of him. At the same time, his defense will increase by 150%, strength by 300%, pain minus 90%, fear minus 90%. After 25 minutes, the wearer will enter a weakened state for 25 minutes. Prompt: the percentage bonus will reach the maximum value when someone of black iron tier elementary grade wears it. The stronger the wearer is, the lower the equipment bonus. The attribute bonus has increased by 3 times. The duration and cooldown have also been greatly reduced. Zhou was very satisfied. He could totally build an absolutely fearless army if these sets were worn by melee soldiers. When long-range soldiers wear it, they could also greatly increase their long-range lethality. Then, Zhou picked up the Elemental Archer recruitment book that had been dropped by the Flame Demon Fog Wolf leader. Item name: Elemental Archer Recruitment Book. Item level: Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Item Effect. Advanced Grade Soldier Recruitment Book. Throw it into the Gate of Summoning, and you can summon a Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Archer with Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade potential to become your subject. Item description: A specialty from a certain time ruin. You can recruit a high-level archer of relatively good quality. We can treat this time ruins as another monster ranch. I'll let Nazario and the soldiers come in to grind for sets and the Elemental Archer recruitment books after it resets every day. Zhou thought. He then looked into the distance. At this moment, Bai Yi and the others were cleaning up the fire demon fog wolves in Undertown with Nazario. The area they were clearing was gradually expanding. He believed that it would not be long before they cleaned up all the fire demon fog wolves in Undertown. As for the 2 doctors he brought in, at this moment, They were healing the 13 elves. Zhou opened the mission interface and looked at the hidden mission at the bottom, seeing that the situation had stabilized. Hidden mission? Aren't there any more hints? Zhou frowned slightly. Lord of the human race? A female voice came from the side. Zhou looked over. It was the female elf he had just saved with Nadia by her side. Zhou had seen her magical archery skills before, so he had a deep impression of her. When the female elf saw Zhou looking over, her milk-white face immediately blushed slightly. However, she still boldly bowed and said, "Thank you for your help, my lord. My name is Eve. How should I address you? My guardian team will remember your kindness forever. Moreover, we will ask the Empire for instructions to distribute some rewards to repay you and your subordinates for saving our injured town. My title is Lord of the Blazing Sun. As for coming to help you, don't worry about it. We will always be comrades you can trust and rely on in the face of the invasion of the Scarlet Fog monsters. As for the reward, that's up to you." Zhou smiled. He was not looking forward to the so-called Empire reward. He could roughly guess from the name of the Time Ruins. The world they were in now was probably a mystic realm similar to a dungeon formed by replicating a certain period of time in the past. The elves in front of him had probably died sometime during the past. Zhou naturally did not expect them to contact the Elven Empire, and even repay him for saving their lives. After hearing his words, Eve was stunned for a moment, then quickly said, "The tradition of our elf empire is that we can't be stingy with helping our friends and benefactors. Please accept our rewards." Her face was rather sacred and solemn. It was obvious that she valued this so-called empire tradition very much. Zhou was taken aback for a moment before nodding helplessly. He had yet to hear any mission notification about the so-called reward, so obviously, there would not be any actual reward. "Lord of the human race, what are your plans next?" Nadia asked curiously. "I'll clean up all the attacking fire demon fogwolves first. Then I'll protect you until you're completely out of danger. We should be out of here by then." Zhou replied. "Aren't you going to stay? Let us entertain you too." Eve could not help but ask. "We have things to do. Are there any other survivors here?" Zhou shook his head and asked again. "No one else. All elven subjects of Undertown except us have perished." Eve and Nadia's eyes darkened. "It's all my fault. If only I had led the team out later to clear the fog monsters born around us, then we'll still be in the town when these fire demon fogwolves come. We would have been able to deal with these fire demon fogwolves with the residents." Nadia lowered her head as tears the size of beans fell. "How can you blame yourself? The timing we head out to clear the fog monsters every day is set by the Empire. We can't go whenever we want." Eve comforted her, but Nadia still couldn't stop crying. Zhou watched this scene calmly. More than an hour later, Zhou, who was chatting with the elves, suddenly saw a notification appear in front of him. Prompt: Time Mission 1. Elimination of the enemy has been completed. Prompt: Time Mission 2. Protection of the ally has been completed. The gift of time has been distributed. The 13 elven elemental archers are ready in the gate of summoning in your territory. You can summon them at any time when you return to the High Continent. Zhou was a little surprised. He thought about it carefully and understood. Perhaps it was because all the fire demon fogwolves had been dealt with by E and the others that the Time Ruins judged that no more enemy could threaten the 13 elves, so it determined that he had completed the time mission too. This was a pleasant surprise. He had thought that he had to protect them until the last moment. This saved him a lot of trouble. He waited for some time before he saw E and the others return with all the soldiers. They had found a water source from somewhere and had already extinguished the flames on the surface of the fire demon fogwolves' corpses, so they could bring them all back on carriages. "Where's Nazario?" Zhou asked when he saw that Nazario had not returned. His Highness Nazario seems to have discovered something special. It flew away alone after helping us deal with all the fire demon fogwolves. Bai said respectfully. Zhou was stunned, then he became curious. However, he did not think too much about it and began to retrieve the loot of these corpses. 15 minutes later, Zhou, who was extracting the 356th corpse, suddenly saw a line of kill notifications. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed the flame demon Fog Wolf Lord, Scarlet Lord, Madman. Promotion energy plus 800. Loots condensed. Prompt. Time Mission 3, Counterattack, Hidden Mission, has been completed. The Gift of Time has been distributed. The Hero Inheritance Secret Manual has been materialized in your spatial equipment. Jojo. He looked a little confused. His pet had completed the hidden mission when he still had no idea about it? Chapter 55 Hero Inheritance Secret Manual. Diamond Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Jojo could not help but open the mission interface. He looked at Time Mission 3. Time Mission 3, Counterattack, completed. Mission description. Launch the final counterattack and eliminate the fire demon Fog Wolf Lord, Madman hiding in the dark to avenge the dead residents of Undertown. Mission objective. Fire demon Fog Wolf Lord Madman, 1/1. Gift of Time. Hero Inheritance Secret Manual, issued. Prompt. This mission is a hidden mission. It is unique. After completing this mission, the relevant mission content and mission target will disappear from the time ruins. Jojo smacked his lips. The completion of this mission was really effortless. Then he looked at it in his spatial ring for a while and quickly found the Gift of Time. The Secret Hero Inheritance Manual. It was a thick purple book. Boxinoviel. It depicted an elf burning in flames. Jojo took a look and he could not help but look at Nadia, who was beside Eve. Why does Nadia look exactly the same as this wood elf? Coincidence? He didn't think too much about it and looked at the book carefully. The treasure information appeared. Treasure name. Hero Inheritance Secret Manual Grade. Epic Tier Advanced Grade Treasure Ability. After using it, you can obtain the Bloodfire Arrow Elf, Nadia's Hero Inheritance. Introduction. Feel endless fear in the rain of arrows filled with blood and fire. Bloodfire Arrow Elf, Nadia. Novice Lord Hint. Heroes, a higher level race that transcends the military. They have a higher level fate level recognized by the Supreme Will. They can even leave their own mark of fate in the river of time, allowing specific living beings to chase after the mark and revive. No hero can be replicated. There's no concrete trace of their birth, but most of them have either legends or complicated lives. It's not any easier for higher-level races to give birth to heroes. Lower-level races can also have many heroes. They're the true treasure of the race, enough to be sung by countless living beings and eras. Is a hero actually that powerful? Jojo was shocked. Then he looked at Nadia again. Nadia felt Jojo's straightforward gaze and could not help but turn her head shyly. Jojo was also puzzled. That's not right. He still remembered how Nadia looked when she cried just now. She looked like a child who had yet to grow up. How could she become a hero like this? The only possibility of the other party becoming a hero was probably that the other party's aptitude and combat strength were relatively high. This was what he knew when he was chatting with these elves just now. It was also because of this that Nadia became the captain of Undertown's Guardian team at the youngest age in the team. He thought for a while but still could not understand. He decided not to think about it and began to think about another problem. Who would he give this Hero Inheritance Secret Manual to? Jojo immediately thought of Bai Yi. Bai Yi had followed him the longest and made the most contributions. She was also dead loyal to him. Moreover, she was an archer and a poison crossbowman. It could be said that she was the most suitable candidate to use this Hero Inheritance Secret Manual. But Jojo wanted to use it too. This was a treasure that could increase the level of his life form. Which lord wouldn't want to use it? Of course, Jojo himself would be tempted. Even though Jojo was a lord, he had heard of the theory that mighty power belonged to him. However, after hesitating for a long time, Jojo still decided to let Bai Yi use it. It was because of the same old reason. He was a lord and did not need to personally go on the battlefield. It would be a waste if he used this Secret Hero Inheritance Manual. The second reason was that this Secret Hero Inheritance Manual was only at the Extraordinary Tier Advanced grade. If Jojo could, he would rather use a higher level, Hero Inheritance Secret Manual. It would shortchange himself and limit his growth if he used this in a hurry now and he could not advance in the future. No plan for the future, no command for the present. Zhou also had to consider his future. After thinking this through, he put the secret hero inheritance manual back into his spatial ring. Then he continued to extract the loot from these corpses. During this period, Nazario had also returned with the corpse of the fire demon Fog Wolf Lord. Zhou was not in a hurry and asked them to put the corpse aside. Then, he continued to extract the loot from the corpses of these fire demon Fog Wolves. More than an hour later, all the monster corpses had been extracted. There were 878 of them. Among them were 752 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade, 64 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade, 55 Elite Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade, and 7 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Leaders. He obtained a total of 2,200 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores and 14 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, 121 sets of Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Fire Demon Fog Wolf sets, 10 sets of Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Fire Demon Fog Wolf sets, 9 sets of Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Flame Demon Fog Wolf sets, 1 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Fire Demon Fog Wolf set, 32 duplicate sets, and finally 133 Elemental Archer recruitment books. Zhou put them all into his spatial ring and prepared to use them when he returned to reality. Then, he went to the Flame Demon Fog Wolf's corpse and prepared to touch it. However, when he saw the drop rate of the loots in its corpse, he was instantly stunned. Item name: Flame Demon Fog Wolf Lord, Madman's Corpse. Item level: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Item effect: contains unextracted loots. Item description: a special life form in the Time Ruins. Its main body is a fog monster in the High Continent. It was later replicated here by the power of time. Prompt: in the Time Ruins, the monster corpses can be preserved until the Time Ruins reset. Loots drop rate: 8 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, drop rate 100%. 8 Origin Crystals, drop rate 100%. 1 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Fire Demon Wolf King Fury set, drop rate 25%. 10 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Elemental Archer recruitment books, drop rate 0%. 1 Diamond Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere, drop rate 0%. Zhou took a look. He thought that he had seen wrongly and blinked hard again. Then he took another look. The message remained unchanged. He did not see wrongly. It was really a Diamond Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. After confirming, Zhou's body trembled with excitement. A Diamond Tier Lord Talent. It could not compare to his Legendary Tier Lord Talent, and was also inferior to the Epic Tier Lord Talents of the Dragon Lady Lord and the Undead Lord. However, lords with Diamond Tier Lord Talents were good enough to be pursued and be called big shots by the billions of Cerulean planet lords. The talents he had always obtained were Black Iron Tier, Green Bronze Tier and White Silver Tier. He did not expect that the first higher level Lord talent he obtained was not from the corpse of the Scarlet Lord in the main world, but from the Time Ruins. Zhou felt like he was in a dream. Compared to the Diamond Tier Lord talent, the fact that Nazario had killed a White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Scarlet Lord with his White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Strength did not seem very eye-catching. Zhou quickly came back to his senses and began to retrieve the loot. A golden notification appeared. "Do you want to retrieve the loot?" "Yes," he said immediately. The next second, a text notification appeared. "Lord Talent Hint. You have obtained the following loots: 8 Mist Cores White Silver Tier, 8 Origin Crystals, 1 set of the Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury set, White Silver Tier Advanced Grade, 10 Elemental Archer recruitment books, White Silver Tier Advanced Grade, 1 Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere Diamond Tier." Chapter 56 Diamond Tier Lord Talent Peace and Prosperity. Whoosh. All the loot dropped. There was naturally no need to mention anything further about the White Silver Tier Mist Cores, Origin Crystals, and the Elemental Archer recruitment books. Zhou first looked at the Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury set. Set name: Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury set. Set grade: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Set attributes: 1. Toughness. Reduces 90% of the physical damage of White Silver Tier weapons and some Yellow Gold Tier weapons to the wearer. Weapons below Yellow Gold Tier cannot be pierced into the wearer's body. Set attribute: 2. Fire Resistance. Ignores external fire damage from gold tier elementary grade attacks and below. Set feature 3. Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury. Activates the bloodline power in the set, causing the wearer to enter the Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury state for 30 minutes. In the state of the Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury, the wearer will enter an extremely calm combat state. In the state of the Fire Demon Wolf King, your defense plus 300%, strength plus 300%, speed plus 300%, nerve reaction plus 300%, pain minus 100%, fear minus 100%. After the Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury state ends, it can be activated again after 30 minutes. Prompt. The percentage bonus will reach the maximum value when someone of Black Iron Tier elementary grade wears it. The stronger the wearer is, the lower the equipment bonus. Current set completeness. 6/6 Boxin OVL. COM Introduction. You've angered me. Zhou raised his eyebrows. Not only would this set of Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury set increase his attributes greatly, it could also allow him to completely ignore fear and pain. Moreover, there were no side effects after using it. Another key point was that the cooldown was only for 30 minutes before he could enter the Fire Demon Wolf King's Fury state again. This attribute was 2 to 3 times better than the previous set attributes. The only regret Zhou had was that the usage requirement for this set was that the wearer had to be of White Silver Tier advanced grade. No one in his territory could use it yet. He could only put it in his spatial ring for the time being and wait for a White Silver Tier advanced grade expert to appear in his territory to use it. Then Zhou looked at the last loot. The Diamond Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Zhou read its information. It wasn't a surprise that he would only be able to know what kind of Lord Talent was in this talent sphere by purifying it first. Zhou looked at Nadia and the other 12 elves behind him. He considered for a moment but did not start the purification in front of them. Even though neither party would recognize the other the next time they met, and they could be a whole new set of people, there would always be traces of everything one did. Zhou still felt that it was better to be careful. We're leaving. He put away the loot and said to Nadia and the others. Already. The 13 wood elves were stunned. We have important things to do. The wood elves looked at each other and could only accept this fact. Zhou did not waste any time. He muttered to himself to return. In the blink of an eye, Zhou, Nazario, and the 99 subjects he brought all disappeared. Only the shocked and confused wood elves were left at a loss. Zhou stood in a world of rainbow light and carefully sized up his surroundings. Nazario and the other soldiers were gone. He seemed to be the only one left in this huge world. Where am I? Zhou was surprised. This moment, an illusory scene appeared in front of him. In the ruins of Undertown that was burning in flames. Eve pounced straight at the pack of fire demon fogwolves chasing after them after pushing Nadia away. Then she was quickly devoured by these fog monsters. The wood elves were extremely sad. However, they still had to continue escaping in order to survive. In the time that followed, Nadia and the others resisted the pursuers behind them as they fled. However, the elves still died one after another in front of Nadia. Their last words before death were mostly similar. Little Nadia, live on. Captain, this is the last time we'll be able to call you that. You have to escape from here. Actually, even though you're the captain, we've always treated you as a little sister. Little sister, you have to live. All the wood elves let Nadia live. However, there were too many fire demon fogwolves. She was still surrounded in the end. At the last moment before the wolves pounced on her, extreme sorrow and hatred turned into scorching flames that burned her wood elf body. Her emerald green hair transformed into fiery red hair, and the blood tears at the corners of her eyes turned into scarlet flames. At this moment, the flames were no longer opposing her. Instead, it created Nadia's nirvana into a higher existence. A hero. To be precise, her hero title should be Nadia, the Bloodfire Arrow Elf. The immaturity and innocence of a young girl no longer appeared on her face. There was only endless confusion and sadness. She looked at the fire demon fogwolves pouncing at her, and her expression instantly turned cold. The next second, boom! Her life force burned in her body, turning into the most dazzling light before death. She drew the bowstring. Bang! The bow was like a thunderbolt. Thousands of blood-fire spiritual arrows were instantly released from her arrowless bow. It was as if blood-red rain had fallen. In an instant, all the fire demon fogwolves died in the ruins of this town. Nadia has avenged you. She drew her last breath after this last whisper. The last scene of the illusory scene was that of the Elven Empire sending an envoy to investigate. In the end, they only saw the skeleton of an elf still drawing her bow in the middle of all the corpses. Reality. In front of the time ruins. A 7-colored light suddenly lit up from the door of the time ruins. The light dissipated a moment later. Zhou and the others had already stepped on the ground of Blazing Sun City again. At this moment Zhou, who was the Lord, was still in a daze. The scene he had just seen was deeply engraved in his memory. The surrounding soldiers did not dare to move since their lord did not give any orders. "Did you see anything just now?" Zhou asked Bai Yi, who was beside him after he came back to his senses.
"No."
Bai Yi looked confused. Zhou asked the other soldiers in Nazario. They also expressed that they did not see anything and were directly teleported out. Zhou fell into deep thought. It seems like I am the only one who saw the true history. Is it because I'm the owner of this time ruins? He didn't think too much about it. Rest for an hour. In an hour, we'll enter the time ruins again. He said to the soldiers. There was still a reset of the time ruins today, so he naturally could not waste it. Moreover, he wanted to go in and take another look. Yes. Bai Yi and the other soldiers said respectfully. Zhou nodded. He did not summon his elemental archer elf. Instead, he returned to his lord's courtyard. In the living room, Zhou sat on the chair, still thinking about the illusory scene he had seen in the time ruins. That should be what really happened. The secret hero inheritance manual is really Nadia's hero inheritance. So she advanced to a hero after such an experience. Zhou sighed. Such drastic changes in life would indeed allow one to grow quickly. He shook his head and stopped thinking about it. Then he took out the Diamond Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Zhou willed. A line of text appeared. Do you want to purify it? Yes, he said expectantly. The next second, a golden light flashed on the Scarlet Lord Talent Ball. After the golden light disappeared, the blood-colored light on the Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere had already disappeared. At the same time, its message has also changed. Treasure name. Lord Talent Sphere, Peace and Prosperity. Treasure grade. Diamond Tier. Treasure effect. After absorbing it, the Lord will possess the Diamond Tier Lord Talent, Peace and Prosperity. Treasure description. A Lord Talent Sphere purified by the Supreme Will. After absorbing it, you can obtain a Diamond Tier Lord Talent. Peace and Prosperity? It looks a little like the Territory Folk Custom Lord Talent mentioned on the World Channel? Zhou thought. Territory Folk Customs type was a big category amongst numerous Lord Talents. He had seen many lords mention that they had a Territory Folk Customs type Lord Talent on the World Channel. For example, Courageous and Ruthless that could increase the combat strength of his subjects, Frugal Home that could increase the wealth of his subjects, Wealthy World that could make it easier for the residents of the territory to change their professions to merchants. These were all the Territory Folk Customs type. He did not think too much about it and used it directly. The text notification appeared again. Do you want to absorb this Lord Talent Sphere, Diamond Tier? Yes, Zhou said. The next second, this Diamond Tier Lord Talent Sphere immediately turned into countless diamond-colored light spots and surged into his glabella. Zhou closed his eyes. A moment later, he reopened his eyes again after some time. Then, he immediately opened his Lord's personal information. His Lord Talent column had already been updated. Lord Talent, 100% drop rate, Legendary Tier. Gnome Alchemy Workshop, Monster Ranch White Silver Tier. Insight Defection Black Iron Tier. Peace and Prosperity, Diamond Tier. My 5th Lord Talent. A smile appeared on Zhou's face. Then, he immediately opened the details of the talent. Lord Talent. Peace and Prosperity Diamond Tier. Peace and Prosperity. A Territory Folk Customs type. Your territory is safe and peaceful, and the lives of your subjects are stable and happy. All your subjects are very satisfied with their current lives, so they revere and love you. Your subjects will have a baseline of their loyalty to you. The loyalty of your subjects will gradually increase the longer they stay in the territory. Specific Talent Effect 1. Your subjects' loyalty to you is 71 points. Specific talent effect 2. Subjects with loyalty between 71 and 80 points. For every day that your subjects live in your territory, their loyalty to you will increase by 1 point. Specific talent effect 3. Subjects with loyalty between 81 and 90 points. For every day that your subjects live in your territory, their loyalty to you will increase by 1 point. Specific talent effect 4. When the number of subjects with loyalty of 90 points and above reaches 1,000, your territory will become famous. Many living beings will know that your territory is a peaceful territory, slightly increasing the probability of foreign life forms coming to join you. Current number of people who meet this criteria: 15/1000. After Zhou finished reading, there was only one thought in his mind. What an abnormal Lord talent! Chapter 57. 2,290 soldiers. Entering the time ruins again. Zhou's eyes were filled with surprise. Generally speaking, the loyalty of the subjects was an attribute that could only be slowly increased by a lord who was slowly managing the territory well. When the loyalty of the subjects were high, the territory would be peaceful, and the crime rate of the subjects would also greatly decrease. Moreover, subjects who listened to the orders of the lord could also play a role in assisting the development of the territory. It could even greatly increase the probability of triggering missions, or even hidden missions. Once the loyalty of the subjects was low, then all kinds of bad things might happen. The disobedience of their subjects alone could cause many industries in the territory to stagnate. The soldiers would not listen to the Lord's orders to attack the monsters around the territory. It was a serious matter. The subjects might rebel and choose to overthrow or even murder the lords. Zhou had heard of such things while diving in the World Channel. Some of the lords became lustful towards the women in his territory and wanted to force themselves on these women. Boxinoviel. Com. In the end, this matter spread. The loyalty of the subjects who heard about this greatly decreased. The next day, this lord's friend realized that the name in his friend list had already dimmed. Given no food crisis, the lords would basically not die with the protection of the novice lord's barrier. If they died, it was because of only one possibility: the lord was killed by his or her subjects in the territory. This was the consequence of a decrease in loyalty. However, this peace and prosperity lord talent could actually quickly increase his subjects' loyalty. Moreover, it could be increased to 90 points at most. 90 loyalty points was already quite high. This loyalty was already equivalent to a pseudo-dead loyal subject. Such a subject would basically not betray the lord unless he encountered an extraordinary matter. Comparatively, the slightly higher probability of foreign life forms coming to seek refuge was less eye-catching. However, Zhou considered the matter. I now have nearly 2,000 subjects in my territory and most of their loyalty is between 70 and 80 points. That means I should be able to make my territory a livable territory in the eyes of outsiders in no more than 40 days. Zhou thought. It was a little more than a month, which was neither long nor short. He was not in a hurry and could afford to wait. After that, Zhou stood up and prepared to recruit the elemental archers and the 13 elven elemental archers. At the same time, the soldiers and subjects in Blazing Sun City suddenly felt that Blazing Sun City had a bright future just as Zhou had just obtained the Diamond Tier Lord talent. Even though Blazing Sun City was only newly built and looked relatively simple, at that point their eyes were filled with expectations for the future. Our Blazing Sun City has so many soldiers, and the number of soldiers is increasing at a visible speed every day. I feel at ease living here with these soldiers around. His lordship is also very good to us. He gives out high-level ingredients like monster meat for free, and lets us eat our fill every day. I've never been so extravagant in the Aurora Kingdom. Of course. His lordship is the best lord on the high continent. Even though this place is still very simple, and is a desert territory, it will definitely be the richest and most famous territory in the entire high continent in the future. Even a dragon is willing to be the pet of our lord. What's impossible? I even saw wood elves today. They are the subjects of the Elven Empire, but even they are respectful to the lord. The wood elves are so beautiful. I can definitely marry a wood elf in the future. The subjects discussed animatedly. Their faces were filled with smiles. Zhou walked out of the Lord's courtyard when he saw this scene. He froze for a bit before he reacted. That was the effect of peace and prosperity. Zhou looked at their smiles and felt a smile appear on his own face. Perhaps the effects of this diamond-tier Lord talent could not be seen in the short term, but it would definitely have a profound impact on the subjects and territory in the long run. He stopped thinking about it. Zhou came to the gate of summoning, and threw the 394 elemental archer recruitment books into it. Soon the first elemental archer walked out. He was wearing fiery red armor, carrying a fiery red bow and arrow on his back, and a fiery red short sword hanging from his waist. Invisible fire elemental energy circled and gathered around him. Ordinary people would feel a faint heat and an inexplicable might just by approaching him. Zhou opened his personal information. Subject: Xiaolon Territory, Blazing Sun City, Soldier Type, Elemental Archer Fire, Strength Level, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Ability Overview. Accidentally obtained an Elemental Archer Class Change Certificate when he was out hunting with his elders when he was young. He therefore changed his profession to an Elemental Archer. When he grew up, he underwent specialized soldier quality training. He also experienced 23 small-scale battles and had rich experience as an Elemental Archer. Skills: Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade Flame Meditation Technique, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Fire Elemental Control, Black Iron Tier Elemental Archery Fire, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Charged Shot, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Triple Shot, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Flame Arrow, Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Double Flame Arrow, yet to master. Loyalty, 71, Potential. White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. He remembered that when Bai Yi was promoted to a Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Beginner Poison Crossbow Soldier, she only had 5 professional skills in her skill bar. At that time, Zhou was already very surprised. Xiaolon, this high-level elemental archer, already had a total of 7 professional skills even though he was only at the Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. He would definitely master more professional skills when he advanced to Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. This is what it means to be a high-level soldier. Zhou sighed. In the time that followed, elemental archers walked out of the gate of summoning one after another. 15 minutes later, 394 elemental archers walked out and stood in front of Zhou. Zhou looked at their fire elemental armors and could not help but fall into deep thought. Why are all the elemental archers I recruited of fire element? Is it because the elemental archer recruitment books came from the fire demon Fogwolf? He gave it some thought. This seemed to be the only reason. Zhou was not disappointed though. Fire elemental archers were not bad either. They were definitely lethal, if anything. After that, Zhou recruited 13 elven elemental archers. Greetings, my lord. The 13 elven elemental archers said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged and studied them. He realized that these 13 elemental archers were dressed roughly the same way as the wood elves he had seen in the Time Ruins. They were all wearing emerald green military equipment. Bows or short swords at their waists, etc. were all emerald green. The outfit looked lively. The surrounding subjects and soldiers immediately exclaimed when they emerged. Zhou ignored them. Instead, he began to check their personal information. Soon Zhou knew that they comprised 1 green bronze tier intermediate grade elemental archer and 12 green bronze tier elemental archers. They were of the same strength level as Nadia and the others. Moreover, their potential was at least at the yellow gold tier elementary grade. The one with the highest potential was diamond tier intermediate grade, which was from the green bronze tier intermediate grade elf. Zhou opened the interface information of the strongest elf. Subject: Monica. Territory: Blazing Sun City. Soldier type: Elemental Archer Wood. Strength level: Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade. Ability Overview: A Centurion of the 12th Elemental Legion of the Elven Empire. She has 5 years of combat experience and has mastered a rich array of elemental archer combat skills. She can skillfully maximize her advantage on the battlefield. Bloodline: Wood Elf Bloodline. Skills: Extraordinary Tier Intermediate Grade Tree of Life Meditation Technique, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Wood Elemental Control, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Elemental Archery Wood, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Charged Shot, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade 5 Consecutive Shots. Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Poison Blood Arrow. Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Silent Arrow Skill. Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Wood Vine Strangle Arrow. Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Agility Technique. Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Invisibility Technique. Loyalty. 72 Potential. Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade. He read about her potential as well as the unique bloodline column. Zhou was silent. The elves had much higher potential than the humans indeed. However, Zhou was not discouraged. He had a 100% drop rate. Zhou was confident that he could build a human army that surpassed the living beings of all races in the world. I have more than 2,000 soldiers now. To be precise, 2,290 people. Zhou suddenly realized that his army force had crossed another huge milestone. A moment later, Zhou distributed the 200 Fire Demon Fog Wolf sets he had obtained from the Time Ruins to the 97 soldiers who followed him to the Time Ruins. The rest were temporarily saved as military merit rewards in the future. An hour later, Zhou brought Nazario and the soldiers into the Time Ruins again. Chapter 58 Trading Equipment. Zhou's Anticipation. In the Time Ruins. When Zhou entered, he realized that they began at the same starting position. However, he had asked Nazario to pay attention to this situation before they entered this time so the embarrassing incident previously would not happen again. They did not waste any time and ran straight to where Nadia and the others were. On the back of Nazario the dragon, Zhou could not help but open the mission interface. As he had expected, this time there were only 2 missions. The third hidden mission did not appear. The Fire Demon Fog Wolf Lord probably wouldn't appear this time. Boxinoviel. Zhou felt that it was a pity. It would be awesome if he could farm the Fire Demon Fog Wolf Lord once a day. He just did not know what would happen when 2 identical Lord talents collided. What happened next was exactly the same as last time. They saved the 13 elves and began to clean up the surrounding Fire Demon Fog Wolves. Nadia cried again because she had left Town and could not protect the residents. Eve comforted her. Zhou looked at this scene thoughtfully. Nadia. He suddenly called out. Lord of the Blazing Sun, what's the matter? Nadia wiped her tears and looked at Zhou in a daze. Eve was also stunned. You've done a good job. Don't blame yourself too much. Zhou said. But I couldn't save any of the residents of Under. Nadia's eyes filled with tears. Zhou looked at her and suddenly walked forward. He reached out and gently wiped her tears. At the same time, the scene of the real Nadia's tears turning into flames when she was promoted to a hero appeared in his mind. Don't cry anymore. I've already saved everyone here for you. Zhou said. Nadia looked at Zhou in a daze. Then her small face suddenly turned red, and steam emitted from her head. A series of light laughter and teasing sounds came from behind her. The heat above Nadia's head increased. Zhou quickly retracted his hand. He smiled and did not explain further. Then he did his old job retrieving the loot. During this period, Nazario went to the location of the Fire Demon Fog Wolf Lord. However, it returned in disappointment in the end. After Zhou found out that this Lord tier monster had really disappeared, he only sighed that he had not taken advantage of it. He then continued to retrieve the loot. In addition, Bai Yi had finally broken through to the Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade during the battle. Other than Bai Yi, Zhongcong and the other 5 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade soldiers were also close to breaking through. They would probably be able to successfully break through after clearing the monsters in the Monster Ranch tomorrow morning. More than an hour later, all the loots had been extracted. He obtained a total of 4,926 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores and 20 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores. 121 sets of Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Fire Demon Fog Wolf sets. 35 sets of Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Fire Demon Fog Wolf set. 43 sets of Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Flame Demon Fog Wolf set. 1 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Fire Demon Fog Wolf set. 110 duplicate sets. 384 Elemental Archer Recruitment Books. Zhou was very satisfied with them. The Time Ruins would automatically reset every time they entered it. These gains would become a fixed daily income in the future. If an ordinary lord owned this time ruins, he would not have obtained so much daily gains. However, Zhou had a 100% drop rate. The gains from entering once were almost equivalent to the gains from the other lords entering the time ruins 100 times. It's a pity that I can't bring the fire demon fog wolves out. Otherwise, I can use the monster ranch to protect them, Zhou thought regretfully. After that, he bade farewell to the elves and left the time ruins with all the loot. Blazing Sun City. After Zhou came out, he went to the Gate of Summoning and used the 384 Elemental Archer recruitment books to summon 384 Elemental Archers at the Black Iron Tier Elementary grade. Then, he summoned 13 Elemental Archers from the elves. He now had a total of 2,687 soldiers under his command. I should be able to have a total of 3,000 soldiers after we clean up the monster ranches tomorrow. At that time, it shouldn't be a big problem to face the Sandman Lord and his 1,000-odd monster subjects, Zhou thought to himself. He then gave it some thought and changed his previous intentions. He distributed all the 301 sets of equipment that he had originally planned to use as military merit rewards to his soldiers. It was lent out to the soldiers in name, but the military merits needed for this Fire Demon Fogwolf set would be deducted from the military merits obtained by the soldiers in the future. Zhou's actual idea was to use these sets of Fire Demon Fogwolf equipment to minimize the casualties that might occur when attacking the Sandman Lord tomorrow. They were facing the faction of a regional Scarlet Lord, so it was not the time to be stingy. Zhou's decision quickly caused the soldiers to cheer. Higher-level equipment meant stronger combat strength and life-saving ability. The soldiers were naturally very happy. Zhou quickly saw a large number of notifications that his subjects' loyalty had increased. Maybe I don't need 40 days before my territory becomes famous for its peace and prosperity, Zhou thought to himself when he saw this scene. Then, Zhou, who had obtained 400 sets of Black Iron Tier elementary grade military equipment, opened the marketplace and set up a transaction. Trade name. Deal with the Blazing Sun Lord, trade goods. 400 sets of second-hand Black Iron Tier elementary grade military equipment. No weapons. Trade requirement. Each second-hand Black Iron Tier elementary grade equipment. No weapons. For 300 units of basic materials. Each lord can trade up to 5 sets. Remarks. You can privately message me for a private transaction if you have a special treasure. Current trading view ranking. 3715, 21545 th. Zhou took a look and confirmed that there was no problem. Then he chose to announce the deal. The lord soon discovered this deal. Then the ranking of this deal that had just been announced began to increase at an unbelievable speed. Soon it occupied the first place in the transaction viewership. The World Channel was also discussing the new deal with the Lord of the Blazing Sun with gusto. The Lord of the Blazing Sun has issued a new deal. This is the first time I've seen a lord sell so much equipment. Familiar formula, familiar taste, familiar. High prices. How else would the Lord of the Blazing Sun deserve his profiteering reputation? 300 units of basic materials in exchange for a set of military equipment without weapons. Actually, it's not bad, I'm envious. I only have 20 soldiers while he is already selling 400 second-hand equipment. The difference is so great that it's terrifying to think about it. I feel that Big Boss Blazing Sun has already grown beyond the current version of the game. At Supreme Will, can you lower the settings? How else can we play it? The Supreme Will expresses that you should not blame the version of a game if you are a noob. This transaction has just been announced. Is there a possibility that Big Boss Blazing Sun is reading our chat? I'm suddenly a little nervous. Big Boss Blazing Sun. I'm sorry for hiding it from you for so long. Actually, I'm not human. I'm a type of seashell by the sea. I am your darling one. Previous poster, I'm actually not a human either. I'm a kind of eagle called Diet 2 Doghead. Show me the diet. Sundra face. Have a good chat while I secretly buy Big Boss Blazing Sun's equipment. Zhou who was diving. Why is this batch of lords so stupid? 15 minutes later. All the second-hand equipment was sold. He obtained a total of 120,000 units of basic materials. Among them were 36,000 units of wood, 42,000 units of stone, 18,000 units of metal, and 24,000 units of fine sand. After Zhou put them away, he walked out of the Lord's courtyard and asked someone to call Bai Yi over. A moment later, in the living room, Zhou and Bai Yi sat opposite each other. "This is for you." Zhou flipped his right hand, and the Hero Inheritance Secret Manual appeared in his hand. He placed it in front of Bai Yi. Bai Yi picked it up curiously and was immediately stunned. This, she stuttered as she looked at Zhou. Shock, disbelief, surprise, trance. All kinds of expressions appeared on her face. It was no wonder that she was so shocked. The word hero was really too legendary. This form of address often appeared in the legends told by the elderly to the children. Could be said that most of the living beings in the High Continent had grown up listening to the legends of heroes. It was the same for Bai Yi. The greatest dream of every child in the High Continent was to become the hero of their race and famous in the High Continent. However, it was too difficult to become a hero. Even the huge Aurora Kingdom only had 3 heroes after hundreds of years of development. That was how difficult it was to become a hero. And now, a chance to become a hero actually appeared in front of her. She was so surprised that she was even a little terrified. Bai Yi felt that this was not something she deserved. She hesitated and was about to say something when she saw her lord opposite her looking hard at her. "Our territory will face a huge crisis in 2 days. My territory needs a hero now. I think you can do it. Take it. Be a hero," Zhou said seriously. Bai Yi was stunned. She looked at Zhou's confident gaze, and the hesitation in her heart gradually turned into determination. She suddenly understood. She was indeed the most suitable person to use it at the moment. She was undoubtedly the strongest in the current territory, other than the Lord's pet, after all. The newly recruited elves were strong, but they had only followed the Lord for a short period of time, and had not obtained the Lord's trust. It was not the time to be pretentious and terrified. As the strongest soldier under the Lord, I have to bear the responsibility of protecting the Lord and the territory before the crisis arrives. Bai Yi became even more determined after she thought it through. "I won't let you down, my lord." Bai Yi stood up and said firmly. Zhou acknowledged. Then, he let Bai Yi return to her residence to use it. It would take quite some time to accept the inheritance of a hero. While it was fine for her to use it in his house, it was still more or less inconvenient for men and women. "I won't have to wait too long for my very first hero." Zhou was filled with anticipation. Chapter 59. The 6th day starts. Summoning the subjects. Spiritual Medicine Lord. Big Brother Blazing Sun. Goodnight. Zhou was thinking about what else he had to do today when Linger sent him a message. "Lord of the Blazing Sun, good night." Zhou replied. Then he looked at the dialogue box and thought for a long time before sending 2 more messages. "Lord of the Blazing Sun, you don't have to call me Big Brother Blazing Sun in the future. Lord of the Blazing Sun, if you're willing, just acknowledge me as your big brother and call me that. I'll also treat you as though you are my biological little sister." Zhou did not know if it was because of his bad luck, but he had lived 2 lives, yet he never had any relatives. He could almost see all the life forms of the High Continent in a mere few days from his sudden arrival in the High Continent. He still felt a little lonely sometimes, even though he was used to living alone. After this period of getting to know one another, Zhou felt that the other party was someone whom he could deepen his relationship with, even if he put her legendary tier lord talent aside. Boxin OVL. That was why he suggested recognizing her as his little sister. Linger saw the message immediately, but she was in disbelief. So she only replied a moment later. "Spiritual Medicine Lord. Big Brother. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Yes, little sister. Spiritual Medicine Lord. Big Brother. Can Linger chat with you in the future? Lord of the Blazing Sun, sure. Spiritual Medicine Lord. Big Brother. Can Linger share some things in the territory with you in the future? Lord of the Blazing Sun, yes. Spiritual Medicine Lord. Feels like a dream. Thank you, Big Brother. Lord of the Blazing Sun. There's no need to be polite since we're siblings. I'll give you a greeting gift as your big brother." Zhou set up a red packet one and filled it with 200 Sword Shield Soldier Class Change Certificates and 100 Poison Crossbow Soldier Class Change Certificates. Then he sent them to her. She did not accept it immediately. Instead she replied, "Spiritual medicine lord. Big brother. Linger will supply you all herbs you need in the future. You don't have to trade anymore. If you want anything just tell Linger. If I don't have it, I'll buy seeds first and plant them now. They'll grow quickly." Linger had the legendary tier lord talent, the divine herb garden. She could therefore say this confidently. Zhou smiled and did not refuse. "Lord of the Blazing Sun. Alright, feel free to let Big Brother know if you need help in the future. I have too many class change certificates at the very least." Spiritual medicine lord. "Hey, thank you Big Brother." Only then did she accept the red packet. Spiritual medicine lord, wow. Poison crossbow beginner soldier. This is the first time I've heard of such a soldier type. Lord of the Blazing Sun. You will see all kinds of soldier types in the future. It's getting late. Rest early. Spiritual medicine lord, yes. Good night Big Brother. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Good night little sister. After the conversation ended, Zhou looked at the conversation between the two of them, and could feel that Linger's tone and attitude were much more natural than before now that they had a better relationship. This was exactly what he wanted. He stopped thinking about it. After confirming that there was nothing to do, he returned to the master bedroom to sleep. The next morning, in the master bedroom, Zhou, who was lying in bed, opened his eyes. It's the 6th day. We will welcome the novice lord test in less than 2 days. His expression was more serious. He felt that his strength had already surpassed most lords, and that it should not be a problem for him to pass the novice lord test. However, he still felt uneasy until he really faced it. He opened the world channel. The bright blood-colored countdown stood at the top of the world channel. Countdown, 47 hours, 38 minutes, 11 seconds. Time passed by the second. The lords were also discussing it. This countdown is like fucking urging our deaths. Stop chatting. Hurry up and develop your territory in the last 2 days. Develop my ass. Only 2 days left. How far can it develop? Brothers, I want to give up. I'll start giving up right away. Fellow Cerulean Planet family members, this is the last time we'll talk here. I can't take it anymore. In a while, I'll give up my status as a lord and change my profession to an adventurer to join a local faction. Coincidentally, there's a human gathering place called the Wind Whisper Valley near my territory. Let's meet again if fate allows. Adventurers might not necessarily be weaker than lords. Both of them can increase their strengths, but adventurers need to kill the fog monsters with their own hands. Even though the risk is a little higher, who says we won't meet the top lords again when we become godlike ourselves? Stop talking about it. I'm already fantasizing about sitting and drinking tea with Big Boss Blazing Sun, the Dragon Lady, and the others after becoming a top adventurer. I'll persist just a little longer. Can any big shot give me a hint on what else I can do in the last 2 days? Can I only rely on killing fog monsters to increase my strength? Lord of the Blazing Sun, glory of the Pioneer Eye, you should mainly try to increase the strength of military professions. If you have spare energy, you can try building a wall to strengthen the territory's defense. Fuck. Big Boss Blazing Sun spoke. Building a wall can indeed greatly reduce the pressure of the monster's attacks. There are only 2 days left. I suggest you build a smaller wall. Big Boss Blazing Sun and I have the same thinking. I've been building a wall for the past 2 days. Zhou looked at the comments of the Cerulean Planet Lords. He said those words on account that they were fellow citizens of the Cerulean Planet. He would not make any suggestions at all if it was a foreign race lord. As for other forms of help, how many billions of Cerulean Planet Lords were there? Zhou understood that he did not have the ability to help the lords of the entire Cerulean Planet. What he could do would be to save himself and the people he cared about. Zhou stopped thinking about it. He got up from the bed and walked out of the lord's courtyard. He did not summon his subjects. Instead, he went to Bai Yi's residence immediately. As soon as he arrived, he saw 2 soldiers guarding both sides of the door. Greetings, my lord. When the 2 soldiers saw Zhou, they immediately said respectfully, How's Bai Yi? Zhou asked. Captain asked us to guard the door when she returned last night. She said she should not to be disturbed by anyone other than the lord or until she came out. We've been on guard all night, but the captain has no intention of coming out yet. My lord, shall I call the captain? The soldier on the left said respectfully. No thanks. Just continue to stand guard here. Inform me immediately when Bai comes out. Zhou said. Yes, my lord. The two of them said respectfully. Zhou looked at the door for the last time. He had a mental strength talent, so he could vaguely feel Bai sleeping inside. Moreover, her mental energy was also strengthening at a stable speed. It had already far exceeded his. Is a hero that strong? Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. He was not jealous. Bai was dead loyal to him. The stronger she was, the better she could protect her lord and help the development of the territory. He did not stay any longer and came to the gate of summoning. A text notification appeared. Prompt. Do you want to summon immediately? Yes, Zhou said expectantly. From today onwards he could summon 44 subjects a day. The next second, the gate of summoning suddenly lit up with a brighter white light, and 44 people walked out. Greetings, my lord. X-44. After the 44 of them came out and saw Zhou, they immediately knelt down and said respectfully, Welcome to Blazing Sun City. Zhou smiled and nodded. Then he opened their personal information and began to check them. Chapter 60. Great increase in military strength. First time hearing of the Conqueror's blast furnace. Zhou looked at the 44 people. Among them were 22 male subjects and 22 female subjects. The distribution of men and women was very balanced. There were 7 professionals among them. The 5 professionals were subjects that the gate of summoning could definitely summon. The other 2 professionals were naturally subjects summoned by the gate of summoning based on their own probabilities. Among the 7 professionals, there was a green bronze tier elementary grade cavalryman, a green bronze tier architect, 2 black iron tier advanced grade sword shield soldiers, a black iron tier intermediate grade tailor, a black iron tier elementary grade blacksmith, and a black iron tier elementary grade carpenter. The cavalryman was the first of his soldier type. His name was Zhang Xiang. He was wearing cavalry equipment. There was a spear and a sword on both sides of his horse's back, and under him was a green bronze tier elementary grade cloud horse. Under Zhou's inquiry, he told his lord that the cloud horse was a warhorse type mount that could be raised artificially. Boxin OVL. They were good horses that could be used in war. There was a yellow gold tier regional territory called Cloud Gallop City in the Aurora Kingdom. That was the Aurora Kingdom's horse breeding base specially used to raise cloud horses. Apparently, they even had a horse raising lord to enhance these effects in Cloud Gallop City. He was valued by the current king of the Aurora Kingdom because of this. The king completely entrusted the heavy responsibility of nurturing cavalry mounts to him. After Zhou heard this, he opened his information. He realized that the cavalry was the same as the poisonous crossbowmen. They were both beginner soldiers. Zhou was not surprised. Each cavalryman with the warhorse under them could fight against 2 ordinary soldiers. This was definitely stronger than basic soldiers. However, he did not know how much combat strength the cavalrymen would have left if they did not have their warhorses. His skills were similar to the Sand cavalryman he had summoned with the Emperor of Sand's spatial ring. However, he did not have Sand soldier racial skills like the Sand body, Sand revival and Sand stealth technique. Other than this cavalryman, the other life professionals such as architects, tailors, blacksmiths, and carpenters were all necessary life professionals in his territory. Naturally, the more the better. Therefore, Zhou was quite satisfied with this summoning. After that, he arranged the placement for these 44 new subjects, and the 7 professionals naturally went to their respective professional venues. As for the remaining 37 subjects, Zhou arranged for the female subjects to help in the kitchen, while the remaining male subjects went to help Elder Zhao build buildings. Bai was still in a deep slumber after making arrangements for them. On the other hand, the cartographer Wu Tu called all the members of the reconnaissance team and prepared to go to Fish Spring Town to redraw the regional map of Fish Spring Town. Zhou told him to be careful and not expose his identity. Wu Tu received the order and left with his men. Seeing this, Zhou also called for Nazario. Then he found Zhang Tsong and asked him to bring all the soldiers, including the 26 elemental archers recruited yesterday, to the monster ranches to clean up the monsters. In front of the monster ranches, Zhou looked at the monster ranches in front of him. Sandmen wandered around the monster ranch. There was no internal conflict, nor was there any hostility towards Zhou and the soldiers outside the fence. They looked abnormally obedient. Yes, my lord. 750 desert fog lizards, 750 black-tailed fog scorpions, and 750 sandmen have all been nurtured, Mugu said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. He clicked his tongue. There were a total of 2,250 monsters in these 3 monster ranches alone. This was already more than the number of Sandmen subjects under the regional Scarlet Lord. How many green bronze tier elementary grade monsters have you nurtured? Zhou asked curiously. A total of 11 green bronze tier elementary grade desert fog lizard leaders, 18 green bronze tier elementary grade black-tailed fog scorpion leaders, and 13 green bronze tier elementary grade Sandman leaders. Mugu replied. Zhou acknowledged. He was very satisfied. From today onwards, his monster ranches would be able to provide him with green bronze tier elementary grade products. Let's begin, Zhou said. Then he looked at Nazario, who was not far away. Nazario and Zhou were telepathic. It immediately spread its dragon wings when it saw Zhou's gaze. Then it suddenly flapped its wings and flew above the monster ranch as it stirred up a violent wind. Roar! An earth-shattering dragon roar, accompanied by an irresistible dragon might. All the Sandmen were immediately stunned by the dragon might and could not move. Many Sandmen fainted. Same old rules. The soldiers who feel that they are about to break through should go in and kill these fog monsters first. Come out after breaking through and give up the place to other soldiers. Zhang Song immediately began to make arrangements. The soldiers obeyed and immediately began to move. Soon, the first batch of soldiers who were about to break through entered the Sandman's monster ranch and began to kill monsters to break through. Among them were 5 green bronze tier elementary grade soldiers, including Zhang Song. They were already close to breaking through after emerging from the time ruins yesterday. Now they could use this opportunity to enter the green bronze tier intermediate grade. With the help of Nazario's dragon might, the efficiency of the soldiers killing monsters had increased by at least 10 times. Soon, the 750 Sandmen in the monster ranch were cleaned up. There was only 1 black iron tier elementary grade Sandman left in the small fence. Not surprisingly, Zhang Song and the others successfully broke through to the green bronze tier intermediate grade. After that, they used the dragon might to clean up the desert fog lizards and black-tailed fog scorpions in the other 2 monster ranches. After cleaning everything, a total of 15 soldiers broke through from black iron tier advanced grade to green bronze tier elementary grade, 88 soldiers broke through from black iron tier intermediate grade to black iron tier advanced grade, and 256 soldiers broke through from black iron tier elementary grade to black iron tier intermediate grade. After that, Zhou got someone to drip a drop of golden corpse water on the corpses of these monsters as he began to retrieve the loots of the 2,250 fog monsters. It took more than 3 hours. Zhou had just finished extracting the loots of the more than 2,000 fog monsters. Among them Monster Flesh, Water Bags, Sand Stealth Skillbook, Sand Trap Skillbook, Sand Form Skillbook, Sand Summoning Series Skillbook, Black-Tailed Fog Scorpion's Poison Sac, Antidote, Antidote Formula, Blood Cleansing Pill Formula, and Black Scorpion Poison Crossbow all dropped a lot. Other than that, there were still 8,635 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, 84 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, 981 Sword Shield Soldier Class Change Certificates, 344 Sword Shield Soldier Recruitment Books, 756 Poison Crossbowman Class Change Certificates, 454 Poison Crossbowman Recruitment Books, 1,827 kilograms of sand crystal. Even though looking at the loots all over the ground was a very blissful thing. However, Zhou was also so tired that he doubted his life. Those kingdoms and empires, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of soldiers will die in one battle. How did they extract the loot from these many corpses? Zhou stood up and shook his sore hands. He could not help but ponder about this problem. He thought for a moment. He called Zhao Changshu over. Soon Zhao Changshu came in front of Zhou. "Greetings, my lord," he said respectfully. Elder Zhao, you're always welcome. Zhou acknowledged. Then, he raised his hand and pointed at the small sand crystal mountain not far away. These sand crystals and nearly 500,000 units of basic materials in the territory. Elder Zhao, if possible, use them to build a wall around the territory today. There shouldn't be enough sand crystals. After the sand crystals are used, we can use the basic materials to build an ordinary wall first. When the sand crystals are available in the future, we can replace the original ordinary wall. Zhou suggested. Time is tight now. This is the only way. Yes, my lord. However, I need a lot of help if I want to build the wall by today, Zhao Changshu said solemnly. After we deal with that regional Scarlet Lord today, you can mobilize all the soldiers in the territory. Zhou waved his hand and made a decision. Zhao Changshu was immediately relieved. He naturally knew that there were more than 2,000 soldiers in the territory alone. With the help of these 2,000 people and his own ability, the chances of building the wall before tomorrow were very high. Elder Zhao, do you know how the Aurora Kingdom retrieved the loot from the corpses after the war? Zhou asked. Generally speaking, there are two ways. The first is to use golden corpse water to extend the time the corpse can be preserved. Then we can slowly extract the loot from the corpse with human strength. The second is to quickly retrieve the loot with an item called the Conqueror's Blast Furnace. However, I don't know much about such items. I only know that this Conqueror's Blast Furnace shouldn't be a rare item. At least it's not as precious as Aurora crystals. In the Aurora Kingdom, many large mercenary groups, adventurer associations, and some large factions will more or less have some conquistador blast furnaces, Zhao Changshu said. Zhou made a mental note. After that, he led Nazario and the soldiers into the time ruins and obtained another 384 elemental archer recruitment books and the loyalty of 13 elves. After he threw all 384 elemental archer recruitment books, 344 sword shield soldier recruitment books, and 454 poison crossbow soldier recruitment books into the gate of summoning to recruit soldiers. The number of soldiers under his command had already reached 3,882. He looked at the soldiers who were almost filled with sand in front of him, including Zhou. Everyone was shocked. Who would have thought? This was only the power of a territory that had been established for 6 days? Just as Zhou was becoming ambitious, a soldier quickly ran over and came to his side. My lord, the captain is out of the room. Zhou's eyes lit up. He asked Zhongsong to take over these soldiers for the time being. Then he immediately walked towards Bai Yi. Chapter 61 Bloodfire Arrow Elf Bai Yi. The Blazing Sun Army is established. Zhou quickly encountered Bai Yi, who was rushing over. Greetings, my lord, Bai Yi said respectfully immediately after seeing Zhou. Her face was still filled with excitement. He was clearly very surprised by his gains. Zhou looked at Bai Yi in a daze. At this moment, Bai Yi's hair had changed from black to blood red long hair. Her skin had also become as fair as milk. Her big eyes had also turned pure blood red. Flame marks that looked like tears appeared on both sides of her face. Not only did it not damage her looks, but it also added to her wild beauty. Her height had increased, and her legs were even longer. Her figure had also become taller. Boxinoviel. She was wearing blood-red military equipment and carrying a blood-red bow and arrow on her back. Wisps of fire elemental energy, wood elemental energy, and a blood-colored energy surrounded her, as if the other party was a favorite of these 3 elements. This was not the most important thing. The most shocking thing was that Zhou could feel the other party's vigorous blood energy and mental strength just by standing in front of her. In Zhou's mental perception, the other party's current physical and mental strength was even much more exaggerated than the Scarlet Lords he had encountered. Bai Yi also realized something and immediately restrained her overflowing life aura, returning to the aura of a normal person. I didn't mean to offend my lord. Please punish me, my lord. Bai Yi immediately half-knelt on the ground. It's okay. I know you didn't mean to. Zhou helped her up and opened her attribute information curiously. Subject: Bai Yi Hero Unit. Hero Title: Bloodfire Arrow Elf. Position: Epic Tier Heroes. Fate Level: Territory: Blazing Sun City. Strength Level: Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Ability Overview. A hero with both human and wood elves bloodlines. His body contains powerful energy, and he is proficient in elemental archery. He is a hero that can make enemies tremble in fear on the battlefield. Bloodline. Human bloodline, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade, 86%. Wood Elf bloodline Epic Tier Advanced Grade, 14%. Skills. Hero Skill Bloodfire Arrow Rain, Hero Skill Stability of Morale, Extraordinary Intermediate Grade Tree of Life Meditation Technique, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Wood Elemental Control, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Fire Elemental Control, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Elemental Archery Technique. Wood, Fire Blood, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Fire Vine Arrow, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Powered Up Shot, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade 5 consecutive shots, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Poison Blood Arrow, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Silent Arrow Skill, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Agility Technique, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Invisibility Technique, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Crossbow Arrow Technique, Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Poison Making Technique, Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Poison Distinguishing Technique, Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Detoxification. Knowledge. Loyalty, 100. Potential. Epic Tier Advanced Grade Hero Biography. 1. Under the blessing of the human lord, the Lord of the Blazing Sun, he obtained the hero inheritance of the Bloodfire Arrow Elf and became the second-generation Bloodfire Arrow Elf. Hero's personal reputation rating +1. Elf race reputation +10,000. High continent reputation +5. Zhozhou's mouth fell open. Wasn't this attribute panel too luxurious? Especially in the skill column. There were so many skills that there were ellipses. However, Zhozhou was most curious about her level. He opened the column. Specific information appeared. Epic Tier Hero's Fate Level. The fate level acknowledged by the Supreme Will has left its own mark on the river of time. It can be revived by a specific living being after tracing the mark. Fate Position Amplification. Physical Strength +2000%. Soul Strength +2000%. Life Willpower +500%. Zhozhou clicked his tongue. Her physical strength and soul strength had increased by 20 times. No wonder he felt that ridiculous blood energy and mental strength. Such an existence. Perhaps she could casually fight 100 or even 1,000 people on the battlefield. Only such an existence could be called a hero. The more Zhozhou looked at it, the more he could feel Bai Yi's strength. He was very happy. The stronger Bai Yi was, the more guaranteed both his and Blazing Sun City's development was. Rest for an hour. Grab hold of your new power. In an hour. Let's go suppress that regional Scarlet Lord. Zhozhou said in a low voice. Yes, my lord. Bai Yi said respectfully. An hour later, outside Blazing Sun City, a total of 3,885 soldiers gathered here and lined up neatly. Standing at the front was undoubtedly the Lord, Zhozhou. Beside him was Nazario, who was lying on the ground. Not far in front of him were Bai Yi and Zhongcang, who were looking at him respectfully and fanatically. Behind them stood a team of more than 3,000 soldiers. Among them were 1,202 poisonous crossbowmen, 1,478 sword-shield soldiers, 1,162 elemental archers, 39 elemental archers of the elves. There was also a cavalryman and a spearman. Moreover, they were well equipped. Some wore the Fire Demon Fog Wolf set, while others wore the new military equipment that Carter Kim and the other blacksmiths had created that matched their strength. Further back was a convoy of 100 mechanostriders in simple wooden carts. Zhozhou looked at them and he was filled with pride. They were the strongest strength Zhozhou had now without a doubt. Zhozhou was also confident. In the future he could expand the team in front of him to 10 times, 100 times, or even more. But before that, he had something important to do now. In a while, I will lead you all to the Sandman Lord and destroy the last Scarlet Lord faction in the Blazing Sun Desert. Right now I have an important decision to make. I'm going to merge you into a complete army. This army will be called the Blazing Sun Army. It represents the first army of our Blazing Sun City. And you will be the first batch of soldiers to join the Blazing Sun Army. Bloodfire Arrow Elf, Bai Yi. Zhozhou looked at Bai Yi. I'm here, Bai said respectfully. You've followed me the longest and are the strongest amongst everyone here. You're also the first hero in the territory. I hereby appoint you as the first Legion commander of the Blazing Sun Legion. Understood, Bai said firmly. Zhang Xang, I'm here. As the first sword shield soldier in Blazing Sun City, and the strongest sword shield soldier now, I appoint you as the deputy commander of the Blazing Sun Legion. Understood. Zhang Xang's calm expression revealed some excitement. As for the specific lower ranks, soldiers can obtain them with military merits. And right now, military merit is already in front of us. It definitely belongs to the Blazing Sun Army. On my command, depart. Strike the Sandmen Lord. Yes, the soldiers roared. Their voices shook the world. In the Blazing Sun City, the life profession subjects and unemployed subjects who saw this scene were also very excited. At the same time, in the Elven Empire billions of kilometers away from Blazing Sun City, the capital of the Elven Empire Alanos, in the Imperial Palace, Astrologer Molt, you're saying that a lord from another world obtained the hero inheritance of our Bloodfire Arrow elf? An elf in a gorgeous and resplendent dress sat upright on the throne, looking calmly at a female elf in the astrologer's uniform below. She was the Empress of the Elven Empire, the original Elven Empress Elizariel. I'm absolutely certain, Your Majesty, every hero is an imperial treasure. It's also our main combat strength against the other empires and the Scarlet Lords. And Nadia's hero inheritance originally belonged to our Elven Empire. We can't let her fall into the hands of outsiders. Astrologer Molt said. Have you divined where that lord is? Elizariel asked. The divination is out, even though it's relatively far away. But we can reach there in a short period of time at a price, Molt said. Elizariel did not reply, seemingly deep in thoughts. Every hero is the treasure of the empire, just as Molt said. She possessed the huge Elven Empire, which only had a little more than 100 Elven heroes as of now. Moreover, a large portion of them were Elven heroes with low status. Therefore, she also valued the appearance of new Elven heroes. The Imperial Palace fell silent. Molt stopped talking. A moment later. Ignore that lord first. There's an agreement with the Supreme Will. We can't attack the lord's races below the Empire level for no reason. Don't even think about challenging the dignity of the Supreme Will. However, you can pay attention to that lord's faction for the time being. Bring back the heir of the Bloodfire Arrow Elf if his faction fails in the competition for the title of Lord of all races. Elizariel spoke. Molt opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something. But in the end she said nothing. After that, Elizariel let the astrologer leave. Elizariel was the only one left in the huge Imperial Palace. She stood up and waved her right hand gently. A crystal coffin appeared in front of her. Elizariel looked over. The life form lying in the crystal coffin was Nadia, the Bloodfire Arrow elf. Her skin was fair and tender, and she even breathed faintly as if she was alive. However, for some reason she had yet to wake up. Is it a coincidence? The time prior just found your mark of fate not long ago. Your hero inheritance appeared in the world at the same time. That's good too. I won't have to wait for too long. For my Elven Empire to possess 2 Bloodfire Arrow elves. Elizariel stroked the crystal coffin and muttered to herself as she looked at Nadia's face inside. Actually, in her heart, even though the successor of Nadia's hero inheritance was worthy of attention, it was not too important. Nadia, the true Bloodfire Arrow elf, was about to be resurrected. How could her successor compare to the first generation? As for the lord who had the successor of the Bloodfire Arrow elf hero inheritance, in her heart, she felt that it would probably not be long before he died in the wave of the competition for the title of Lord of all races. When the time comes, both Bloodfire Arrow elves would naturally become hers. Chapter 62 Hero Technique. Stabilizing Morale. Insight Defection again. In the desert, Zhou and the soldiers looked at the Sandman's territory in the distance. The huge hole that Nazario had melted with the magma dragon breath on the huge desert pyramid the last time was still there. About 100 to 200 sandmen were repairing the pyramid while a portion of the remaining sandmen patrolled the perimeter of the pyramid. The others, which were not immediately visible, should be in the pyramid. The corners of Zhou's mouth curled up slightly before he looked at Nazario, who was not far away. Nazario instantly understood Zhou's thoughts. It slowly flapped its wings and flew into the sky straight to the pyramid. "Prepare for battle," Zhou ordered in a low voice. "Yes, Boxin OVL." Com Bai Yi and Zhongsong immediately responded and told all the soldiers to prepare for battle. On the other side, Nazario, which was zooming towards the pyramid, quickly attracted the attention of all the sandmen with its huge size. When these sandmen found out that the visitor was actually the evil dragon that destroyed their pyramid previously, they immediately became angry. "It wasn't enough to bully us once, you want to bully us a second time, right? There's no end to it, right?" The sandmen roared angrily. Then they picked up everything they could throw at Nazario in the air. However, what they threw could not hit Nazario at all at the height it was flying at. The next second, an overwhelming dragon might descended with a dragon roar. All the sandmen were so frightened that they could not move immediately. The entire territory of the Sandman Lord suddenly fell silent. Nazario seized the opportunity to dive down. When he was still 40 to 50 meters away from the top of the pyramid, he suddenly opened his dragon mouth. Magma dragon breath. Boom! The scorching magma spat out from Nazario's mouth was like a torrent and instantly covered the top of the pyramid again. Once the magma dragon breath was unleashed, the Sandmen realized that not only had the repairs been in vain, but the pyramid had also suffered greater damage than last time. At this moment, many Sandman, Elite Sandman and Sandman leaders regained mobility, because the effects of the dragon might had already disappeared. They threw their weapons at Nazario with all their might in their anger. This time Nazario was hit. However, even their lord would not be able to pierce through the thick lava armor on its body. The attacks of these black iron and green bronze tier Sandmen did not even make a scratch on Nazario. Nazario only glanced at the Sandmen monsters that dared to offend it. Their bodies burned out of thin air, and they quickly died under the flames. No one else dared to attack when they saw that. Nazario glanced coldly at the cowardly Sandmen, Elite Sandmen and Sandmen leader. Then it suddenly flapped its wings and flew into the sky again. It was not interested in these weaklings as a dragon with noble bloodline. Its actions just now were firstly because it obeyed its master's orders and secondly, it felt that it was fun. It completed its order and had enough fun. It was time to be prepared to deal with the regional Scarlet Lord. Even though it felt that it would definitely win. However, the principle of a lion doing its best to capture a rabbit ran through its veins as its dragon bloodline inheritance. Therefore, it would not underestimate any enemy. At the same time, nearly 100 kill notifications immediately appeared in front of Zhou when Nazario melted the pyramid again. There was no lack of monsters at the level of the Sandman Elite and the Sandman leader. "We can start attacking," Zhou ordered calmly. The enemy was still in an extremely chaotic state, so it was a good opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Bai Yi immediately carried out Zhou's orders. Soon, more than 3,800 soldiers cried out war cries and rushed towards the Sandmen in the chaos. They pressed forward like a torrent, not afraid of the enemies in the distance at all. The reason why they were so fearless even if the enemy were under the command of a regional Scarlet Lord was firstly, because Zhou's soldiers had won all the battles so far. These victories increased their confidence and courage in the face of the enemy to a certain extent. On the other hand, it was because of Bai Yi's hero skill from the Bloodfire Arrow Elf. Hero skill. Stabilizing morale. Hero skill. Stabilizing morale. Level. Green bronze tier intermediate grade enhanceable. Skill effect 1. The Bloodfire Arrow Elf can allow your soldiers to still attack fearlessly when facing a strong enemy and maintain strong morale when the Bloodfire Arrow Elf is on the same battlefield. Skill effect 2. If your own faction loses to the enemy faction, the Bloodfire Arrow Elf can maintain the basic morale of the remaining soldiers of your own faction to fight again. Skill effect 3. The Bloodfire Arrow Elf can allow the soldiers of your own faction to avoid or weaken some of the negative effects of the bloodline pressure, mental deterrence, soul control, and other willpower from the outside world. Note: it can currently affect a total of 7,000 units of soldiers from your own faction. The range and effect will increase as the Bloodfire Arrow Elf grows. This hero skill was very strong. However, what Zhou valued the most was its skill effect 3. This was because Zhou had always been worried that his soldiers would encounter a similar situation in the future, after seeing the astonishing effect of Nazario's Dragon Might. When the time comes, it would probably be very difficult for them to resist the pressure of a powerful bloodline without corresponding defensive methods. It would be very likely that they would be reduced to lambs waiting to be slaughtered like the monsters in the Monster Ranch. However, now that he had by ease morale stabilization skill, they had some means to save themselves in such a situation at the very least. In the distance, the Sandmen quickly saw more than 3,000 human soldiers rushing over from afar. It was as if they had received an order. They no longer cared about the lava dragon in the sky. A portion of the Sandmen picked up their weapons and rushed towards the enemies who dared to offend them. Another portion of the Sandmen stood where they were and began to summon the others. As a large number of Sandmen began to be summoned, the Sandmen in front of them began to increase at a terrifying speed visible to the naked eye. In an instant, there were more than 2,500 Sandmen from the original 1,000. Zhou was not surprised to see this. This was how the Sandmen fought. The lowest Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Sandman was in charge of blocking the enemy. The Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Sandman were in charge of summoning the Sandmen at the back to increase their troop numbers. Even though these summoned Sandmen only existed temporarily, it was useful. After using one batch, they could summon another batch. As long as there was enough energy in their bodies, an endless stream of Sandmen would crush the enemies sooner or later. This was also why the Sandmen Lord could rely on these subordinates to become a regional Scarlet Lord faction. Zhou suddenly felt that it looked inexplicably familiar when he thought of this. Isn't this my fucking human wave tactic? He shook his head and stopped thinking nonsense. Then, he stretched out his right hand and aimed at the Sandmen. The Insight Defection talent that had long cooled down was suddenly activated. Boom! An invisible wave instantly covered all the Sandmen fighting and the Sandmen in the pyramid. Prompt: you have activated your Lord's exclusive talent, Insight Defection. Insight Defection has taken effect. Lord Talent Hint: a total of 10 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Sandmen, 6 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Sandmen, and 2 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Sandmen leaders have betrayed their Lord's faction and become your loyal subordinates. At this moment, Zhou could feel 18 more Sandman monsters had become his loyal subordinates. He could sense their existence and could also issue some orders from afar. Rebel. Zhou directly ordered all the Sandmen who had been instigated to defect. In the Sandman camp, a Sandman who was fighting a sword shield soldier was stunned. Then, he turned around and slashed at his Sandman compatriots. The Sandman companion looked at it in confusion. The sword shield soldier opposite him was also stunned. What is going on? Did it miss its target? Missing at this range is a little ridiculous. Behind the Sandman, the 2 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Sandman leaders, who had just summoned the Sandman, suddenly trembled. Then their eyes became much clearer. They looked at each other and instantly understood the deeper meaning in the other party's eyes. They confirmed that they were all traitors. The 2 Sandman leaders silently retracted their gazes. Then, they controlled the summoned Sandman to launch a sneak attack on the surrounding Sandman compatriots that were being summoned. Chaos began at this moment. Chapter 63 Hero Skill. Bloodfire Meteor. The Sandman Lord appears. Zhou looked at the slightly chaotic scene behind the Sandman and pondered. Insight Defection might be a Black Iron Tier Lord talent that could only turn 2% of the enemy Lord's forces into loyal subordinates at any one time, but he personally felt that the future potential of this talent was still very high. They were instigating the rebellion according to the percentages after all. If he could use the Lord Talent Fragment to increase its talent level, in the future it was not impossible for him to wave his hand and make all of this enemy surrender. Upgrading my 100% drop rate to the mythical tier by collecting 1 billion Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Fragments is something I might not even achieve even after the competition for the title of Lord of all races ends. Wouldn't it be a waste not to use this large pile of fragments? Why don't I use the Lord Talent Fragments I collected to upgrade my other Lord Talents? It's best if it is those Lord talents with the potential to improve. This can also strengthen my territory. Moreover, if my territory becomes stronger, I will also come into contact with more secrets of the high continent. At that time, I might be able to upgrade my 100% drop rate Lord talent in other ways. Boxen OVL. Xion Zhozhou was deep in thought. Then, he stopped thinking about it and summoned 8 green bronze tier elementary grade sand cavalry through the Emperor of Sand's spatial ring. After he broke through to the green bronze tier elementary grade and enhanced his elementary grade mental potential, his current mental strength was already enough for him to summon 8 green bronze tier elementary grade sand cavalry. Then, he summoned a green bronze tier elementary grade Sandman leader through the green bronze tier elementary grade summoning skill he had obtained in the morning. Skill name: Summon Sandman leader. Skill quality: green bronze tier elementary grade. Skill description: summoning type skill. Controls the sand element and condenses a green bronze tier elementary grade Sandman leader that completely obeys your orders and will get Sandmen of elementary grade intelligence to fight for you. The summoned Sandman leader did not have the ability to summon, but it had the physique of a normal green bronze tier elementary grade fog monster. Coupled with the green bronze tier elementary grade sandification ability, it could at least be a meat shield on the battlefield. After that, Zhozhou did what he did the last time. He got the Sandmen he summoned to charge into the battlefield and carry the injured soldiers back to Zhang Qianjing and the other 2 doctors for treatment. In addition, they had already brought enough life potions this time, so they were not worried about not running out. At the same time, on the battlefield, the Bloodfire Arrow Elf by E was riding on a Mechanostrider and shooting arrows at the edge of the battlefield. Every arrow of the hero by E was extremely lethal. Even a green bronze tier intermediate grade Sandman leader could be easily killed by her arrow. A cold glint flashed across her eyes just as she saw the Sandman monsters summon a large number of Sandmen. Bai Yi suddenly stopped the Mechanostrider. She drew her bow and aimed at the group of Sandmen controlling the summoned creatures. Then she took a deep breath. At this moment, Bai Yi felt as if she resonated with the battlefield. Every scene on the battlefield appeared clearly in her perception. Not only that, she could still sense the surging blood energy on the battlefield. Moreover, she felt that she could clearly sense the elemental energy in every elemental archer on the battlefield, and could even mobilize them. And so she did. The next second, boom! Everyone suddenly realized. The blood energy in the air suddenly became restless and surged in Bai Yi's direction. The senses of the 1,162 elemental archers were especially obvious. This was because they also felt an insignificant wisp of fire elemental energy fly out of their bodies and converge on Bai Yi's fiery red bow. Zhozhou also looked at her as if he had sensed something. Flame arrows burning with the color of blood condensed around Bai Yi's body. 10 dozens, hundreds. In the blink of an eye, a total of more than 1,000 flame arrows appeared in the air around Bai Yi. The tips of their arrows were aimed at the Sandmen camp, and the arrows trembled slightly. It seemed to be about to shoot out and kill the enemy in the distance in the next second. It was the hero skill Blood Rocket Rain. Hero skill Blood Rocket Rain. Level Gradeless. Skill effect. The Bloodfire Arrow Elf spreads its perception throughout the entire battlefield and understands every dynamic on the battlefield. At the same time, she can mobilize the blood elemental energy on the battlefield and the fire elemental energy in all the elemental archers' bodies to gather around her, forming a vast number of bloodfire killing arrows to kill more distant enemies. At this moment, the Sandmen seemed to have received some orders. They abandoned the enemies in front of them and ran towards Bai Yi. Stop them! Don't let them affect the Legion commander. Zhang Tsong, who was fighting a bloody battle, cried out the order when he saw this. Then he rushed over immediately. Go! Bai Yi ignored the Sandmen rushing towards her. His eyes were as calm as an eternal iceberg. The next second, she released the bowstring. Whoosh 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 whoosh. Thousands of bloodfire arrows instantly shot out as if it had been released. They quickly streaked across the sky like a blood-red meteor shower that ran rampant in the sky, accompanied by the sound of air exploding. In the blink of an eye, they landed behind the Sandman. Boom 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 boom. Every bloodfire killing arrow that landed around the Sandman would instantly explode. killing all the sandmen within a radius of 4 to 5 meters and leaving behind a pile of burning sand. Thousands of blood-fire-killing arrows turned the sandmen's back up into a sea of fire. This blood-fire arrow rain directly killed 600 to 700 Sandman monsters. It directly destroyed more than half of the Sandman subjects. Zhang Tsong and the others, who were blocking the Sandman monsters, suddenly saw the Sandmen in front of them stiffen. Then they collapsed into countless sand and scattered on the ground. The soldiers of Blazing Sun City on the battlefield also saw many Sandman summons suddenly collapse into sand. The pressure on them instantly lessened greatly. War. Bai Yi put the bow back on her back and panted slightly. Her face was a little pale. She sensed the elemental energy in her body and realized that there was only about 5% left. Not only that, her mental strength was almost exhausted. Even the blood energy in her body had temporarily decreased a lot. Her expression did not change. It seemed that Bloodfire Arrow Rain was a strategic level hero skill. Even if she was a hero now, she could only release it once in a short period of time. She would have to at least recover completely before she could release it again. Not far away, Zhou nodded slightly when he saw this. This was the strength of a hero. Bai Yi's attitude just now almost gave him the illusion that he was seeing Nadia's last arrow again. At this moment, a Sandman holding a golden staff and wearing a golden mask walked out of the pyramid. It was more than 3 meters tall and looked quite tall. It glanced at Nazario above its head when it emerged. Then its gaze passed through the battlefield and looked directly at Zhou at the rear. Zhou also looked at it calmly. Monster information appeared. Monster name: Sandman Lord Simon, Scarlet Lord, Strength level, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Monster description: the strongest Scarlet Lord in the Blazing Sun Desert. It controls the entire Blazing Sun Desert and has many Sandmen subjects under its command. It is good at summoning and was once a member of the Emperor of Sand's race when the Emperor of Sand was alive. Loots: 10 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, drop rate 100%. 5 Origin Crystals, drop rate 100%. 300 kilograms Black Iron Tier Sand Crystal, drop rate 20%. 1 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Sandman Scepter, drop rate 10%. 1 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Sandification Skill Book, drop rate 5%. 1 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Sandman Summoning Lord, drop rate 2%. 1 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Alchemy Pharmacist Recruitment Book, drop rate 1%. 6 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, drop rate 0%. Chapter 64: Killing the Sandman Lord. Emperor of Sand's item. Destroy it. Zhou ordered calmly. Roar. Nazario and Zhou were telepathic. After receiving his order, it immediately roared at the other party and released its dragon might to control it on the spot. Then it swooped down and fired a magma dragon breath at the other party. The Sandman Lord Simon's pupils constricted slightly. It suddenly smashed the scepter to the ground. Bang! The next second, the scorching lava dragon breath directly buried the immobile enemy below. When Zhou saw this, a smile appeared on his face. Boxinoviel. COM, but in the next second, his eyes narrowed slightly. He suddenly felt that something was wrong. Why wasn't there a kill notification? Nazario had already noticed the abnormality. It looked not far away and saw a figure running away in the distance. It was the Sandman Lord Simon. Trying to escape? Zhou raised his eyebrows. This was the first time he had encountered a lord who knew how to escape. Then, Nazario chased after him without the need for his reminder. Bai Yi also activated the overload mode of the Mechanostrider, Little Bird Run. She chased after it extremely quickly. The dragon and the woman quickly caught up to the Sandman Lord. The Sandman Lord also noticed the two pursuers. Its expression changed slightly. Then it chanted an incantation and knocked the scepter on the ground twice. 2 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Sandman Lords instantly condensed. Then one pounced on Bai Yi while the other Sandman Lord suddenly stepped on the ground and jumped dozens of meters high before punching Nazario. Nazario's dragon eyes turned cold. It opened its dragon mouth and ate the Sandman Lord that rushed up. Then it chewed and spat it out in disdain. Bai Yi was not afraid at all when she saw the Sandman Lord rushing over. Even if she was only at the green bronze tier intermediate grade who had just consumed a lot of energy, and even if the other party was a summoned creature, it was also a true white silver tier elementary grade. There was actually not much difference between the two with the enhancement of the epic tier fate level. Bai Yi did not even slow down the Mechanostrider. She drew her bow and a fire vine arrow condensed from fire and wood elements appeared on her bow out of thin air. Whoosh! The fire vine arrow shot out quickly and hit the summoned creature squarely. Not only did it retreat more than 10 steps, but more than 10 flame vines also grew crazily from the place they had hit, firmly binding it. Then Bai Yi drew her bow 4 times in a row. 4 fire vine arrows shot out almost consecutively, scattering around the other party's body. Bai Yi snorted and continued to pursue the Sandman Lord. At this moment, Nazario opened its dragon mouth and spat out another magma dragon breath, spraying it at the fleeing Sandman Lord. The Sandman Lord panicked. It knocked its scepter 6 times in a row and summoned 6 summons of the white silver tier elementary grade Sandman Lord to block behind him, trying to block their attacks. But in the next second, the magma dragon breath directly exploded the summoned creatures of the 6 Sandman Lords, and then its power blasted onto the Sandman Lord without decreasing. After the dragon breath dissipated, only the tattered corpse of the Sandman Lord was left on the ground. As expected of the Lord's pet, the legendary dragon completely crushed them. Bai Yi stopped and sighed when she saw this scene. She was confident that she could kill this Sandman Lord at her peak. However, she felt that she could not kill the Sandman like how Nazario did with a single strike. Nazario flew over with the Sandman's corpse in its mouth in no time. When it passed by Bai Yi, it nodded slightly in agreement. Bai Yi was stunned. Then, she immediately jumped down from the Mechanostrider and bowed to it solemnly. She was not proud, because she knew that what the dragon acknowledged was not her own strength, but her hero identity. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed the Sandman Lord, Scarlet Lord, Simon. Promotion energy plus 200. Loots condensed. The territory of the Scarlet Lord has become ownerless. You can plunder or occupy it. The Blazing Sun Desert has become an ownerless area. After you obtain the regional token, you can become the regional lord of this area. Regional Lord. Jojo looked at the notification. He was looking forward to it. Soon, he saw Nazario come to him with the corpse in its mouth. After putting the corpse down, it flew away to help the other soldiers deal with the remaining sandmen. Jojo did not waste any time and began to retrieve the loot. A golden notification appeared. Do you want to retrieve the loot? Yes. The next second, a text notification appeared. Lord Talent hint. You have obtained loots 10 mist cores white silver tier, 5 origin crystals 300 kilograms of sand crystals black iron tier, 1 Sandman scepter white silver tier elementary grade, 1 skill book, Sandification white silver tier elementary grade, 1 skill book, Summoning Sandman Lord, white silver tier elementary grade, 1 Alchemy Pharmacist recruitment book, white silver tier elementary grade, 6 Lord Talent crystal fragments, black iron tier elementary grade. Whoosh! Big drop. Zhang Qianjing and the others, who were treating the injured, could not help but look at them enviously. Then they retracted their gazes and focused on treating the injured. Jojo also began to inspect the loots. There was naturally no need to mention the mist cores, origin crystals and sand crystals. Jojo looked at the golden scepter. This golden scepter that was more than 3 meters long automatically turned into a scepter about 2 meters long after he held it in his hand. Moreover, the weight was just right. It was very magical. It was completely made of gold. At the top of the scepter was a statue of a sandman wearing a crown whose face could not be seen clearly. The equipment notification appeared. Equipment name, Sandman Scepter. Equipment grade, white silver tier elementary grade. Equipment effect 1. Sandman Noble's Bloodline Glory. It can reduce a portion of energy consumption when using sand element related skills. Note: when using skills below white silver tier elementary grade, it can reduce energy consumption by up to 50%. The reduction will decrease with the increase in skill strength. Equipment effect 2. The escape route of the Sandman Noble. The user can swap positions with the life summoned by the Sandman. Jojo clicked his tongue in wonder. This was the first time he had seen equipment that could aid in escape. Unfortunately, it was a white silver tier elementary grade equipment. He could not use it yet. At this moment, a new notification appeared in front of him. Special hint. This equipment contains a portion of the fragments of the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter. Finding other fragments can reforge the Emperor of Sand's Glory Scepter. Legendary tier advanced grade. Where can I find this? When Zhou saw the notification, he could not help but mutter in his heart. The high continent is so big. He had no other hints yet. Wouldn't it be like searching for a needle in a haystack with just a fragment? However, he did not expect to encounter other items left behind by the Emperor of Sand after his spatial ring. He was quite fated with this emperor. He didn't think too much about it. He put the scepter into his spatial ring and looked at the remaining loots. Skill name, Sandification. Skill quality, white silver tier elementary grade. Skill description, sandify a part of the body for 1 second. Immune to physical damage below the white silver tier. After 1 second, the sandified part of the body will return to its original state. Skill name, Summon Sandman. Skill quality, white silver tier elementary grade. Skill description, summoning type skill. Controls the sand element and condenses a white silver tier elementary grade Sandman Lord that completely obeys your orders and has normal intelligence to fight for you. They were all white silver tier elementary grade items. Zhou could not even learn it, so he temporarily placed it in his spatial ring and would learn it in the future. Then Zhou looked at the Alchemy Pharmacist recruitment book. There was no need to think too much about it. This must be a specialty of the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. Item name, Alchemy Pharmacist recruitment book. Item level, white silver tier elementary grade. Item effect, life profession recruitment book. Throw it into the gate of summoning, and you can recruit a white silver tier elementary grade alchemy pharmacist as your subject. Item description, a special item created under the influence of the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. It can immediately add a white silver tier elementary grade alchemist to your Gnome Alchemy Workshop. Zhou read it a few times before he confirmed that he was not mistaken. He would really be able to recruit a white silver tier elementary grade alchemist. It was not an alchemy pharmacist with white silver tier elementary grade potential, but only of black iron tier elementary grade. Zhou was a little puzzled. However, it was also quite a surprise. This time Ashburn will have company. Zhou smiled and put it away. Then he looked at the final loot. The 6 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Zhou's eyes lit up. He had 4 black iron tier Lord Talent crystal fragments in his possession. Now he had 6 more. After he returned, he would be able to fuse another black iron tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Or he could save it up. In the future, he would upgrade his Insight Defection talent to a green bronze tier Lord Talent. Chapter 65 Regional Token. New Black Iron Tier Lord Talent. The remaining Sandmen were like headless flies when they fought without the Sandman Lord. They were wiped out by Nazario by E, and the soldiers not long after. Soon, a green bronze tier elementary grade Sandman leader, and a green bronze tier intermediate grade Sandman leader came in front of him. Then, under everyone's surprised gazes, they knelt on one knee to Zhou and muttered in some language that Zhou could not understand. Zhou looked at them. He had used Insight Defection here, where he incited a total of 24 Sandmen to become loyal to him. They were the only 2 that survived. He used his mental perception and understood what they meant. We swear loyalty to my lord. Zhou asked the 2 of them to follow the Blazing Sun Army and return to the territory. A moment later, Bai came in front of him. I've something to report, my lord. We've explored the interior of the pyramid. Boxin OVL. This pyramid should be the base of these Sandmen. It's divided into living quarters, noble quarters, resource storage rooms, lord's area, and so on. We've discovered the territory token tablet in the lord's area. We've also found a total of 10,000 units of wood, 15,000 units of stone, 6,000 units of fine sand, and 8,000 units of metal in the resource storage room. In addition, we found 584 black iron tier mist cores, 56 green bronze tier mist cores, and 2 white silver tier mist cores. Lastly, we also found a design blueprint for this pyramid. After Bai Yi finished speaking, she took out a thick stack of paper and handed it to Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows, took it and realized that there were no text notifications. Then he flipped through the stack of blueprints again, but there was still no information about them. This looks like a hand-drawn blueprint for a self-built building. This pyramid wasn't built from blueprints. It was built by these sandmen from their memories. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in awe. No wonder he felt a little strange when he first saw the pyramid. It looked a little too crudely made from the perspective of a blueprint building. He understood now. So it was a self-built building. Then it was fine, actually it was built pretty well. Maybe they're missing their old civilization. Bai Yi said. It's the first time I've seen you so sentimental. Bring me to the territory tablet. Zhou Zhou smiled and said. Yes, my lord. Bai Yi said respectfully. The two of them passed through the battlefield and quickly walked into the pyramid surrounded by soldiers. Zhou Zhou's first impression was that it was spacious and cool as soon as he entered the pyramid. Moreover, it was not dark here. There were rows of torches on both sides of the road, illuminating the entire pyramid. Under the illumination of the flames, there were ancient murals representing the Sandman civilization on the walls. A tall Sandman whose face could not be seen clearly would often appear on it, accepting the worship of billions of Sandmen. It was exactly the same as the statue on the Sandman's scepter. Zhou Zhou guessed that this should be the Emperor of Sand. This place can actually be used as a barrack after I'm done with the Novice Lord test. Zhou Zhou suddenly realized. It was such a huge pyramid. The environment was not bad either. It was not a problem to accommodate about 10,000 soldiers. Coincidentally, there was a shortage of residences in the territory, so he could get some soldiers to live here first. A moment later, the two of them arrived at the Lord's area. The blueprint designated this place to be the Lord's area. But the moment Zhou Zhou arrived, he could tell that this place had been modified to mimic the Lord's courtyard. His gaze landed on the territory tablet and on its durability. It was a total of 100,000. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue and asked Bai Yi to shatter the stone tablet. After Bai Yi received the order, she immediately drew her bow. After shooting 10 fire vine arrows at it, this territory token with 100,000 durability shattered with a bang, revealing 2 tokens. One of the tokens emitted a rich bronze luster. It was a territory token. The other token was slightly larger than the territory token, and emitted a faint black iron luster. On the front was the word region, and on the back were the words, Blazing Sun Desert. Zhou Zhou picked up the territory token first. He realized that this was a green bronze tier advanced grade territory token. I can bring it back with me to upgrade my territory. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's face. Then he picked up the other token and looked at it. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, regional token area name. Blazing Sun Desert, changeable. Regional grade, black iron tier area. About 523 square kilometers. Treasure description. Regional token of the Blazing Sun Desert. The Lord who possesses the region token and fuses it with the territory stone tablet can become the region lord of the Blazing Sun Desert and obtain a regional exclusive treasure chest. I'll fuse it with my territory stone tablet when I return. At that time, I will be able to completely control the entire Blazing Sun Desert. Zhou Zhou thought. Half an hour later, all the Sandmen had golden corpse water dripped on them and were loaded into the convoy with the loots. Then they returned to Blazing Sun City with the Blazing Sun Army. Everyone had just returned to Blazing Sun City. Zhao Changsha was instructing everyone to build a wall. Greetings, my lord. Everyone immediately said respectfully when they saw Zhou Zhou and the others return. My lord, you won? Zhao Changsha asked with a smile. When the others heard this, their eyes lit up and they looked at him expectantly. This is the first battle of the Blazing Sun Army. There's no reason to lose. I'll get someone to set up a public sign in the territory to tell everyone this news. From today onwards, the Blazing Sun Desert belongs to our Blazing Sun City. In addition, I'll get someone to paste a map of the Blazing Sun Desert on the public sign. Therefore, from now on, everyone's range of activity will not be limited to Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou smiled. Everyone immediately cheered when they heard that. Blazing Sun City might be safe, but anyone would want to go out for a walk after staying here every day for a long time. The Lord was indeed the Lord. He could take down a Scarlet Lord just like that. The subjects looked at Zhou with admiration. Zhou looked at the notifications that their loyalty had increased. He was deep in thought. It seemed that as long as he did more deeds that convinced and revered his subjects, he could probably obtain the peace and prosperity reputation earlier. After that, Zhou first extracted the loot from the Sandman's corpse. More than an hour later, the loot extraction was complete. During this battle, other than the Sandman Lord whose loot had already been extracted, they had also eliminated a total of 1,125 Sandman monsters. Among them, there were 652 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade, 313 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade, 121 Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade, 27 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, 9 Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade, and 3 Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. The loots of higher-level Sandman monsters did not change much. However, the number of its mist cores and sand crystals had increased. Moreover, the grades of both the Sandification Skill Book and the Sand Summoning Skill Book would also increase. Monsters above the Elite Sandman level would drop, Summoning Elite Sandman, and Summoning Sandman Leader. The specific gains were as follows. They obtained a total of 7,377 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, 225 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, 3,641 kilograms of Black Iron Tier Sand Crystal, 1,125 Sandification, Black Iron Tier and Green Bronze Tier, 965 Sandman Summoning Books, Black Iron Tier Elementary and Intermediate Grade, 121 Sandman Summoning Elite, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade, 39 Sandman Summoning Books, Green Bronze Tier Elementary, Intermediate and Advanced Grade. Zhou put away the mist cores. All the sand crystals obtained were handed to Zhao Changshu to build the wall. As for these skill books, Zhou planned to include them in the military merit system, so that the soldiers could exchange them for military merits. A moment later, in the living room of the Lord's courtyard, Zhou looked at the 10 Black Iron Tier Lord Talent crystal fragments in front of him. Should I fuse it? Obtain another Black Iron Tier Lord Talent? Or should I save them up to upgrade the Insight Defection talent in the future? He hesitated. A moment later, Zhou could not help but fuse. No choice. The Insight Defection had given him a huge surprise. Wouldn't he be making a killing if he could obtain another great Black Iron Tier Lord Talent this time? However, his expression immediately became a little complicated when he opened this Lord Talent column, after he absorbed the newly fused Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Lord Talent, 100% drop rate, Legendary Tier. Gnome Alchemy Workshop, Monster Ranch White Silver Tier. Insight Defection Black Iron Tier. Return to the City Black Iron Tier. Lord Talent, Return to the City Black Iron Tier. Return to the city. You can immediately return to your territory, no matter where you are, and recover 50% of your physical state in the next 10 seconds when you chant the designated password for 5 seconds. Lord Talent Hint. This talent can only be activated once a day. Zhou teleportation home, right? Chapter 66 Upgrade Building. Cerulean Planets Announcement. Zhou studied this Lord Talent. His expression was complicated. Was it useful? Yes, it was indeed very useful, especially if he was in a desperate situation where he could not escape. This Lord Talent could be said to be a life-saving talent. However, with Zhou's current strength and cautious personality, he had almost no use for this Lord Talent unless he was stupid enough to provoke those forces that he could not afford to provoke at all and was trapped by the enemy. Zhou finally gave it a more pertinent evaluation. It was useful. However, it might be used less often. In the future, I should save up the fragments of the Lord Talent Crystal and use them to upgrade the other Lord Talents. Zhou thought. A specialist is better than a jack of all trades. Boxinoviel. It was not as good to blindly increase the number of Lord Talents as to pursue the strength of a certain Lord Talent. After that, he set the return passcode for this Lord Talent as Return to the City. It was simple and easy to remember. It ensured that he could use it to return to the city as soon as possible when he was in danger. He had actually thought of using B as a password. However, he was worried that he would accidentally say the same word when he spoke to others in the future, and then he would suddenly disappear 5 seconds later. That would be funny. Therefore, it was better to use return to the city. He did not try it out because he planned to go to Fish Spring Town after Wu-Tu returned today. If anything happened to him in Fish Spring Town, this return to the city talent would give him a guarantee. After that, Zhou walked out of the Lord's courtyard and looked at it, preparing to upgrade it. With a thought, a line of text appeared. Do you want to upgrade the Lord's courtyard? Yes, he said. The next second, 20,000 units of basic materials, 100 green bronze tier mist cores, 1 origin crystal, and the green bronze tier advanced grade territory token that he had just obtained instantly disappeared. Boom! A golden light suddenly covered the entire Lord's wooden house. A moment later, the golden light dissipated. Zhou looked over. The area of the Lord's courtyard expanded again, and the renovation of the house was even more exquisite. A series of text notifications appeared. Congratulations, your Lord's courtyard has been upgraded to a green bronze tier intermediate grade building. There is an additional bathroom. Your territory has been upgraded to green bronze tier intermediate grade. Territory token durability increased to 50,000/50,000. Your territory has expanded to 10,000 m times 10,000 m times 3,000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. You have received an upgrade reward. Medical Hall Blueprint, green bronze tier intermediate grade. Lord Talent hint. The upper limit of the enemy lord's power that you can instigate to defect has been increased to white platinum tier intermediate grade. Lord Talent hint. Your monster ranches can be upgraded. Bathroom. Zhou's eyes lit up. He immediately ran back into the house and quickly found the bathroom. Even though this bathroom was a little small, there was a toilet, a bathing area, a sink, toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrush. It had all the necessary facilities and toilet supplies. Zhou was a little touched. He could finally say goodbye to the pit latrine. A moment later, he walked out of the bathroom reluctantly. As for the newly obtained green bronze tier intermediate grade medical hall blueprint, the other lords might like it very much. However, Zhou had the all-purpose human blueprint Elder Zhao, so it did not attract his attention at all. After that, he looked at the materials needed to upgrade the Lord's courtyard from green bronze tier intermediate grade to green bronze tier advanced grade. Construction upgrade: 20,000 units of wood, 20,000 units of fine sand, 20,000 units of metal, 20,000 units of stone, 500 green bronze tier mist cores, 3 origin crystals, 2 green bronze tier territory tokens. Zhou looked at the building materials thoughtfully. There was no problem with the basic materials and origin crystals. He could collect 500 green bronze tier mist cores with some time in the monster ranches. The hardest to obtain were these 2 green bronze tier territory tokens. There are no Scarlet Lords or Lords of all races in the Blazing Sun Desert whom I can obtain territory tokens from now. I have to think of a way to obtain green bronze tier territory tokens from other areas, Zhou thought. He did not think too much about it for the time being and went to the Gate of Summoning to upgrade it. He consumed another 8,000 units of basic materials and 50 green bronze tier mist cores. Congratulations! Your Gate of Summoning has been upgraded to a green bronze tier intermediate grade building. You can summon +5 subjects every day. You will definitely summon 4 professionals every day. Prompt: under the influence of the unique title of the race, Glory of the Pioneer Eye, you can summon 54 subjects a day. You will definitely summon 6 professionals every day. And the professional levels of 2 of them will be the same as your territory level. Only 5 more this time? Didn't I increase it by 10 people the last time I advanced from Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade? Zhou was stunned when he saw the notification. Could it be that it directly increased the summoning limit of 10 subjects because it was a large level advancement? There were only 5 more people this time because it was a small level advancement? Zhou took a guess. Then, he looked at the upgrade requirements for the Gate of Summoning. Construction upgrade: 5,000 units of wood, 5,000 units of fine sand, 5,000 units of metal, 5,000 units of stone, 100 green bronze tier mist cores, territory level upgraded to green bronze tier advanced grade. It's easy to upgrade the gate of summoning. I don't have to worry about upgrading materials at all, Zhou thought. After that, he returned to the Lord's courtyard and took out the black iron tier regional token. Zhou looked at this regional token twice and placed it on his territory stone tablet. A suction force suddenly came from the territory stone tablet and sucked this regional token in. Zhou looked at this scene in surprise. The next second, rows of golden text appeared in front of him. It also appeared in front of all the Cerulean planet lords. Congratulations on obtaining a Black Iron Tier regional token, Blazing Sun Desert, and officially becoming the regional lord of this area. The regional territory column has been unlocked in your lord's personal information. You can check the information about the regional territory you own here. You have obtained a regional treasure chest, exclusive to the Blazing Sun Desert. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun, becoming the first regional lord and to officially own a regional territory. Reward: Supreme Treasure Chest +1. Reputation Rating +1. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Zhou looked at the golden text notification in front of him. He had already guessed that he might receive another announcement from the Cerulean planet's entire channel after obtaining the first regional territory, but he could not help but feel a little excited now that he saw it with his own eyes. The last reputation rating talent hasn't come yet, but the next reputation rating talent is on the way. Zhou could not help but smile. He opened the Cerulean Planet Lord World channel and glanced at it. Indeed, the lords were discussing him fervently. Ridiculous. This is the 4th time, right? There's still only Big Boss Blazing Sun on the reputation ranking. Is this the loneliness of an expert? One step ahead, many steps ahead. I didn't know much about it in the past, but I suddenly understand now. Is Big Boss Blazing Sun really not going to livestream the opening? I'm so curious. Do you think Big Boss Blazing Sun is diving and peeping now? I think he might be opening the box now. There are trillions of lords on the entire high continent, and I'm the only lord of the Blazing Sun. Sundra face. Simply too brilliant. Girl, is there no one you care about on the road to supremacy? Aren't you guys a bunch of fools? The Lord of the Blazing Sun is now the only one among us. When he becomes completely invincible in the future and comes to your territory, let's see if you'll still be happy to welcome him. I remember that Lord Mighty revealed that the Lord of the Blazing Sun's territory is near the Aurora Kingdom, right? Lords of the Aurora Kingdom, don't blame me for not reminding you. Either join forces and think of ways to deal with the Lord of the Blazing Sun, or prepare to end up like Lord Mighty. TSK. There are so many lords watching the show. Be careful that the Lord of the Blazing Sun will record you in his notebook. Some lords have already been blacklisted by the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Now they can't even buy Big Boss Blazing Sun's goods. You people who stir up trouble, be careful not to attract trouble. As soon as this was mentioned, the lords who were stirring up trouble immediately became much quieter. They still wanted to buy the goods of the Lord of the Blazing Sun. To be honest, even though the goods sold by the Lord of the Blazing Sun were a little expensive, he was at least honest and did not sell fake goods. This was also the reason why many lords would rather endure the cost and still buy the goods. Unlike some lords, who sold rotten monster meat to pass off as fresh monster meat and second-hand equipment as new equipment in order to make a fortune in the exchange. Many naive lords had been scammed. Comparing the two, the face of this profiteer, the Lord of the Blazing Sun, seemed a little friendly instead. However, what they did not know was that Zhou, who was peeping at the screen, had already silently blacklisted them. You want to buy my goods to increase your strength while badmouthing me on the World Channel? Zhou thought. Over my dead body. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.